as it marches into Armstrong Stadium for its home opener against Howard University. Who is the real HU? Find out next. We're at Armstrong Stadium on the campus of Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia for this MEAC matchup as the Bison of Howard University travel south to take on the Pirates of Hampton University. Let's take a look at the coaches' preseason poll in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Hampton University picked to repeat for the third straight year as the conference champs, while Howard is picked to finish 7th. Hello again, everyone. Charlie Neal, along with my partner, Jay Walker, the former Howard University quarterback. Welcome to Hampton, Virginia. And, Jay, for Howard University, their first game of the season. For Hampton, they already have one under their belt. Does that give Hampton an edge?
I think it gives them a clear advantage because not only did they play last week, but they won last week. They're riding a high. It's going to be a tough job for the Howard Bison to come in there and match the game speed level that Hampton's already playing at with that extra week.
9 times Hampton has beaten Howard University. It's a rivalry that goes back many, many years. The question is, can Howard break that streak? Howard has played them tough over the years.
Yeah, I think anybody will tell you that Hampton's been the class of black college football for the past 2 years. But when they play their rival, Howard University, you can tell by their star running back, Alonzo Coleman. He averages 20 yards less per game every time he faces this tough Howard Bison defense. That's what rivalries are all about.
There's new excitement on the campus of Howard University. A whole brand new wide open offense, new offensive coordinator, whole new coaching staff.
Yeah, no matter what the excitement is, the key comes down to who's going to be your quarterback. For Howard University, they got to find out which one of these 3 young men is going to be able to lead the complicated new Howard offensive passing attack and running attack. But that's why we play the games.
83rd time that these two teams have met. The last 9 have belonged to Hampton. Can Howard break the losing streak? We'll find out. Opening kickoff from Hampton, Virginia, when we return.
Nebraska.
Back here on the campus of Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia, Charlie Neal and Jay Walker, and welcome to MEAC Football 2006. The Hampton Pirates in the dark uniforms taking on Howard University. They'll be wearing the white, and this is the series history. Hampton leads the series 42-39 1 all time, and they've won the last 9 meetings. Last year they played up in Washington, D.C., and Hampton won that one 22-12, having to come from behind to come out with the victory. And here's the kicker for Howard University, John Mendoza, a freshman from Miami, Florida, 5'10", the deep man. Number 25 is Calvin Bannister, a senior from Roanoke, Virginia. Also back there is Kevin Teal, number 16, a sophomore from Bowie, Maryland. The 83rd time that these two teams have gotten together. And here it is. Short kick. Teal picks it up at about the 12-yard line, still on his feet and really tattooed as he gets out to about the 23-yard line. So that's where the Hampton University Pirates will go to work, first down and 10 at their own 23, led by their quarterback, Princeton Shepard, a senior from Columbia, South Carolina. It was an 11-yard return for Teal. As you look at the weight and height of Princeton Shepard, a senior, he wants to become a sports agent somewhere down the road. First down and 10. May look for a flanker screen and an empty backfield on the first play of the game. Going without a huddle. Both of these teams probably will today, as you see Jeremy Gilchrist going in motion, and that's the flanker screen to Gilchrist, and Howard University is there to make sure that he doesn't go anywhere. Let's look at the backs and receivers for the Bison of Howard University. You have Alonzo Coleman, who's almost everything here on this Hampton campus, along with Curtis Lewis at the fullback spot. The receivers are good ones. Andrea Jones, along with Marquay McDaniel. And the tight end is Ernie Lomax. And you saw the offensive line, Nevin McCaskill, one of the veteran starters up there on second down. They keep the ball on the ground with Coleman on the carry. And Coleman is out to about the 25-yard line. Let's look at the defense for the Howard University Bison. The down linemen, Cooper, Heiner, Wooten, and Rudy Hardy. The linebackers, Robert Dowdy, Timothy Lockett, and Daniel Pierce. And then the secondary, Claiborne, Means, Jackson, and Pope. A lot of scouts are looking at Mr. Pope, Jeffrey Pope. from the DBU, and we'll explain that as we go through the game. Last 2 years, they've had defensive backs drafted by the NFL as Shepard takes off and runs, and then for the first down, and still on his feet and trips up just shy of the midfield stripe at about the 48-yard line. Princeton Shepard on the carry. Let's look at Princeton Shepard. 18 yards.
Yeah, one of the things about Princeton, we saw his physical size, 6'5", 205 pounds, but what people underestimate is his foot speed. He's very quick and elusive to be a tall, lanky guy, and you see him there picking up big yardage, leaning forward all the way for the first down for the Pirates.
1st and 10, Hampton University. Beverly, the second back in the eye. Play action. Shepard out in the flat, incomplete. Trying to get it to Ernie Lomax, the junior from O'Connell High up in Washington, D.C., who added 20 pounds to his weight from a year ago.
And Lomax is one of those guys that the NFL scouts are here watching, even though he's still an underclassman. They think that he's got the build to grow into an NFL caliber tight end.
There it is. Math major from Washington, D.C. 2nd down and 10. First series of this ball game, in case you just joined us. Hampton got the opening kickoff. And here's Coleman turning the corner. And he is met by number 52, Tim Lockett, the middle linebacker. Stood him up after a 2-yard gain. As you look at Joe Taylor in his 15th year as the head coach here at Hampton University, 121 wins, 42 losses, and a tie. That's a 73% winning percentage for Joe Taylor.
And Joe Taylor is Hampton football.
He certainly is.
Took this program from Division II into a 1AA power, and they made a smooth transition, never missing a beat along the way.
From the shotgun. 3rd and 8. Shepard under pressure. Finally gets it away, but it'll bring up a 4th down. He avoided the sack. And he was getting a lot of pressure up front from Rudy Hardy, the defensive end, number 99.
And one thing you have to be concerned about if you're Coach Taylor in the Pirate offense, each time Shepard's gone back to pass, he's had to make somebody miss just to avoid getting sacked. So the Bison defensive line is getting to the quarterback. They're pressuring him. They haven't made a completion thus far in the game, so they've got to get better protection on Princeton Shepard.
Jamal Blanchard, a freshman, is back to do the punting. Replaces Cameron Muro, who was the punter the last few years, and he gets a good kick. Coffin corner type. Goes out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. So it was a 39-yard punt for the freshman in his first, or make that the second collegiate punt. And Howard University will take over, 1st down and 10. They'll start with another new quarterback. We talked about him in the opening. Coach Petty says he'll play all 3. Will Blandon will start. He ran this offense in high school at Wilby High in Waterbury, Connecticut. 1st down and 10. And he's working out of the shotgun. Blandon rolling left, and he's going to throw it out in the flat, the far sideline. He has it complete, has something going down the sideline. And a good completion to Lawrence Helms, a junior out of Flowers High in Lanham, Maryland. And a 1st down for the Bison of Howard, 14 yards on the catch. And let's look at the Howard University starting lineups. Antoine Rutherford, 1,000 yards in his freshman year. There are the other backs and receivers in the backfield with him. Had only 300+ yards a year ago, but hoping to return to the form of 3 years ago. And here's December, a new quarterback in the lineup. So we've had a couple of plays, and we've had 2 quarterbacks in the lineup, and now we got a 3rd one coming in. Floyd Hagler, DeMarcus Floyd, Michael Russell, Travis Harmon, Tommy Burns, and Sam Wolford are the men up front, and another 1st down for Howard. So maybe all these quarterback mix-up will
Hampton
confuse
must
the
think
defense.
they're changing personnel, thinking they're bringing in extra wide receivers. They're bringing in extra quarterbacks.
They certainly are. They're running them in like you wouldn't believe, and that was very close to pass interference. As you look at the defense for Hampton University up front, you've got Bryant, along with Langford and Dixon, the linebackers, Abrams, Jamari Jones, Charles Robinson, and Justin Durant. Buck Buchanan Award candidate, finished 3rd in that department a year ago in the secondary, a veteran secondary for Hampton University. Here's the option to the left side. This time, not much doing that time in the running department for Antoine Rutherford as he took the pitch from Will Blandon.
You know, when you're playing against a good team, you can come up with all the trickery you want and substitute quarterbacks and try to get sophisticated. But at the end of the day, in the game of football, whoever has the best athletes generally finds a way to neutralize all the trickery and the gadget plays.
It is 3rd and 10. At the 37-yard line for Howard University. Their own 37. Blandon, the quarterback. Stands in there. Lets it go, and it's incomplete. Incomplete. The intended receiver was Stefan Asimu. So to bring up a 4th down punting situation for Howard University. They started at their own 10, changed quarterbacks 3 times, and got out to the 32-yard line. And they have a freshman punter in Sebri Nuru. He's out of Decatur, Georgia. Noam Drawer was the punter from a year ago. 4th down. Marquay McDaniels back to receive the punt, and it takes a Hampton University bounce and dies just outside the 40-yard line at about the 39 after a 25-yard punt. Back to Hampton in a moment. No score here in the first quarter between Howard University and Hampton. 11:01 the time remaining. And a week ago, the Hampton Pirates opened their season down in Birmingham, Alabama in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. And this young man, Marquay McDaniel, on the receiving end of this 55-yard touchdown pass from T.J. Mitchell, was the co-offensive player of the year, in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. He had 6 receptions for 113 yards and a touchdown. And there he is. He's a 6-foot senior from Virginia Beach, Virginia. 2nd team All MEAC a year ago.
He's also a candidate for an All-American returner. What you don't see there is his return yards that he gets. He's one of the best punt returners in the country.
From their own 39, 1st and 10. They keep the ball on the ground with Coleman on the carry. And Coleman, as we said in the open, has found the going very rough against Howard over the years. Against Howard University, he's only averaged 83 yards a game in the 3 games.
And I think part of the reason is up front. You see, Howard gets great defensive linemen that are active. You're talking about Ed Piner and Marvin Wooten, those big guys. They're very active in the trenches. Howard has always been a tough team to run against on defense, and Coleman's found a tough sledding so far in this game.
2nd down, 5. Ball at the 43. And again, Coleman trying to turn the corner. He does, gets the 1st down, and is across midfield into Howard territory. Finally run out of bounds at the 44-yard line. So Alonzo Coleman with the big run. 12 yards.
We talk about this New Hampton offense. Well, when they run the ball, it's not a power running game. It's a stretch running game. And you see Coleman using the speed to accelerate to the outside, getting to the edge. But that's just a great line by the right side of that that Hampton offensive line with Justin Gary and Akeem Lamar, who's getting the start, his first start of the year. And they did a great job of caving in the Bison defense.
Ball marked just inside the 45-yard line of Howard University. Hampton across midfield for the first time today, their 2nd possession. And here's a strike down the middle of the field from Princeton Shepard. And this one goes, I believe, on the receiving end was Gilchrist. 30 yards.
That's just a great call by the new offensive coordinator, Chris Beatty from Hampton. By design, they attack the seam. They send 3 people down the seam. The 3rd guy breaks off his route. That's Gilchrist, wide open in the soft spot of the Bison secondary.
2nd pass completed today by the quarterback, Princeton Shepard, 2 for 4. They're driving. This time the handoff is to the 2nd back through, and that is Kevin Beverly, the young man who transferred into Hampton from Kent State University, where he played 6 games for them against Grambling a week ago. He carried the ball 8 times for 34 yards.
You know, one thing that is typical of a Joe Taylor coach team is he doesn't like having just one running back to rely on. He keeps running backs, and Beverly and Van Morgan and Alonzo Coleman. Those were his horses this year, and he likes to rotate them in throughout the game.
And Coleman is back there. And he goes out in motion. Empty backfield for Princeton Shepherd. A little shuttle pass. Goes inside. Not much going on as Gilchrist got the carry.
You know, I don't know if Gilchrist is going to be too comfortable with that play selection. We talked about the strength of the Howard defense is that active defensive line, and you start having a wide receiver running there with those big boys, he's going to lose his hardware as he did on that play.
Yeah, he lost his helmet. This Hampton University team among the teams in Division I AA, ranked number 14 this year. In fact, they got up as high as number 2 a year ago.
Dream season, undefeated, perfect regular season.
Shepherd under pressure from the blitz. Still being pursued. Duanuel Pierce stayed right on top of him and made the top of the tackle. You look at the coach for Howard University, Rayford Petty, 6th season, in the last year of his contract at Howard University, and maybe a little pressure on him to come up with a successful season.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, one of the downfalls of coaching at Howard is you're in Washington, D.C. You know, that's probably one of the largest cities in the MEAC conference, and everybody's watching.
39-yard attempt for Andrew Patarini. This kick is up, and this kick is good. Make it a 29-yard field goal for Andrew Patarini, and the Pirates of Hampton University get on the scoreboard first with a field goal, and they lead it 3-0, 8:04 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, impressive drive. They hit the big play when they got protection for Princeton Shepherd. They were able to attack the Bison secondary, get away from the defensive line. When they were able to protect them, they converted. But although they settled on 3 points, they've got to figure out a way to slow down this Howard pass rush. The Bison have been very impressive on the defensive line. When they spread offense, limiting them just to 3 points is a good thing.
Hampton University, located, of course, here in Hampton, Virginia, Jay. Founded in 1868, over 6,000 students enrolled. They've won 4 MEAC football titles since coming in to the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
I mean, they won 4 in a hurry. They've been in the MEAC less than 15 years, and they've won 4 conference titles. And every year since they've joined the conference, they've basically competed for a MEAC title. And that just tells you about the program, and it starts at the top. You know, they've got a president, Dr. Harvey, that loves sports, and this institution, this city, is behind this Pirate program.
One of the things that Joe Taylor told me yesterday, he said, you know, I've been wearing 2 hats. He's also the athletic director here at Hampton University. He said, if I hadn't have gone 11-1 last year, I may have been able to get rid of one of those hats. You maybe want to get rid of that AD's hat. Patarini kicking off. And all the way into the end zone, bringing it out is Leonard Moore for Howard University, and he gets tattooed at the 13, 14-yard line. Leonard Moore with a 14-yard return of the kickoff.
And we talked about what are some of the disadvantages of having your opening game this week, and that's one of them. You don't return a kick when it's kicked 8 yards into the end zone. So now you're putting your offense in a conservative position where they're inside their own 15-yard line just because he didn't have the patience to know that you have to down that ball in the end zone.
1st and 10, Howard, their second possession. First one ended in a punt. And the quarterback decides to get out of there. Blandon getting good yards, and Blandon gets the first down all the way out across the 25 to about the 27, 28-yard line. 14 yards on the carry by the quarterback, Blandon.
And that's what happened. You got over pursuit by the linebacker there, Jamari Jones, and Blandon made him pay for making the mistake in the backfield. See here, you'll see Jones come through there, and he's supposed to make this tackle. When he doesn't make that tackle, that opens up the defense.
Here's Antoine Rutherford, and Rutherford is knocked backward. The man who knocked him backward, number 52 for the Hampton University Pirates, Justin Durant. We'll be calling his name a lot tonight.
Oh, yeah, and I think everybody's going to know by the time this football season is over that Justin Durant's one of the best football players in college football today.
He was 3rd in the Buchanan voting for the best defensive player in Division I AA a year ago. It is 2nd down after a gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Landon on the carry again, and there's a flag down. We may have offside against the Pirates of Hampton University unless somebody threw them offside for Howard.
And that's going to happen when you've got a team that's rotating quarterbacks as often as Howard does. You got quarterbacks that use different cadence, and it's a good job by the Howard offensive line if they were able to hold their stance and not jump.
And it was offsides against the Pirates of Hampton University.
When you talk about the quarterback for Howard, Will Blandon, I mean, what a great story. That's a story of you never give up. He was a guy that was playing defense, was the 4th or 5th string quarterback, move over to defense. In the spring, Howard did not have a quarterback eligible.
Right. Defense, number 52, 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
That was Justin Durant who jumped off sides. The linebacker, let's see, he's in the backfield before the ball is snapped. First penalty of the ball game. It is 2nd down and 4. Make it 2nd and 3. Little play action again. Blandon has some quick feet. He bounces to the outside and is dropped at the 48, 49-yard line. So Blandon has picked up some very, very valuable yards rushing the ball today.
Well, you see that Hampton's trying to attack and bring the blitz to get some pressure on the running game. And when you miss, the problem with when you send a blitzing linebacker or a blitzing person from the secondary, if he doesn't get there, then you're leaving yourself vulnerable. And Howard's doing a good job of attacking. And Will Blandon just showing what a great athlete that he is.
That was good for 13 yards. It is 1st down and 10 Howard at the 49-yard line, their own 49. On the option to the left side. Rutherford on the carry, and Durant is there to make the stop defensively. And there's Linwood Ferguson, the new offensive coordinator for Howard University. He's also the quarterback coach first season, but very familiar with the MEAC, coached at A&T. Also coached Rayford Petty when he was in college at Elon.
And you know what else I found out before the game? He also coached Jerry Holmes, the defensive coordinator for Hampton in junior college. So he's been around coaching for quite a while.
Now a timeout is being called by Howard University. Timeout on the field. Linwood Ferguson talking things over.
The Range Rover Sport by Land Rover.
Hampton leading Howard 3-0 in the first quarter, 6:17 remaining. Don't forget Thursday night, Ohio Valley Conference and in-state rivals collide on ESPNU when the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles meet the Middle Tennessee State University Blue Raiders out of the Sun Belt Conference. College football primetime presented by Buffalo Wild Wings Thursday night at 7 Eastern. Right here on ESPNU. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com, and Jay and I will have the pleasure of being down in Murfreesboro to do that game on Thursday night.
Going down to Tennessee, Murfreesboro. Looking forward to it. And you see here, pretty even thus far. With the rushing yards, and Hampton got the big play, and that's why they've got a 3-point advantage.
It is 2nd down and 9. Blandon going to the air. Flat pass, but not a good pass. He had a man open out there, but it was not a good throw from the quarterback as he was trying to hit Rodney Slappy, number 14, the senior out of Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and that's how you can tell a quarterback that's comfortable throwing the easy passes are always completed. That time it was a simple 5-yard out pattern, basic route in football, but yet he threw it into the ground.
3rd down now for Howard University. They are 0 for 1 in 3rd down conversion so far in the game. Going to the air again. This one's incomplete. Threw it too low for the intended receiver, and that was Orlandis Hood, a quick, speedy receiver who just couldn't get to it.
Yeah, and that's got to be frustrating for offensive coordinator Linwood Ferguson, because on consecutive plays he's called patterns where the receiver's been open, but the quarterback has not been able to execute. Basic curl route, yet he short hopped it. That's not an efficient passing offense. You got to be able to make the easy passes, or else it just throws out your game plan.
Nuru with his 2nd punt of the afternoon. The first one covered 24 yards. Kicking to Marquay McDaniel. Gets a good one off this time. McDaniel has an opportunity to return. Makes the first player miss. Gets to the corner. Marquay McDaniel to the 30. Still on his feet. Knocked out of bounds in front of the Hampton bench by Jeffrey Pope. But there's a penalty flag down.
Typically, when a return man goes from one side of the field all the way to the other, there's a block in the back or a hold.
It was a 35-yard punt, a 30-yard return, but we're going to get a holding penalty against the Pirates of Hampton, so it'll nullify the good return by Marquay McDaniel, who had some impressive numbers, as you said, a year ago. He averaged 14.6 yards per punt return, but he did have a 76-yarder. Throughout his career, though, against Howard.
Illegal block in the back. 14 on the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And it was against Hampton University's Reggie Knox.
You take a look here. When you go all the way across, you'll see the illegal block that occurred. Anytime a guy goes from the right to all the way to the left, that typically happens, and the officials call that all the time. It's easy to call, but you'll see the athleticism by McDaniel. We talked about how he was a stunner on special teams, and you see why. He's explosive when he's on the field.
He had a touchdown against Howard University of 85 yards back in 04 on a punt return. He has averaged 21.8 yards per return against the Bison. It is first down and 10. In the backfield, split with Curtis Lewis and Alonzo Coleman. And here's Coleman trying to turn the corner, and not a whole lot of running room for him, as Robert Dowdy was the first man to come up to meet him, number 42. We're in Hampton, Virginia, for this MEAC matchup between the two HUs, Howard University and Hampton. Charlie Neal along with Jay Walker in the dark uniforms. The home team worn by the Pirates of Hampton, the white uniforms by Howard. The defense playing pretty good, considering they had a scare when they first got here. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Here's Coleman again trying to go to the right side, and again Dowdy along with Timothy Lockett won the stop for Howard University. When the team bus arrived, the brakes had caught on fire. Flames were coming out. It blew a tire. We thought they were practicing setting off a cannon here, and the stadium rocked, and they got all the players off. And here's a look of the bus, the back of the bus.
That's not barbecue smoke.
Yeah, with the smoke coming out, they had to call the fire engines and everything else. So that was the defensive team bus. The offense had made it in.
I'm sure Howard was hoping it just wasn't a precursor for things to come here in Armstrong Stadium this evening.
Here's a pass to McDaniel in the flat, and a miss by Pope. And here's McDaniel with the first down all the way out to the 35-yard line as Pope missed the tackle. Joe Claiborne finally came up to finish him off.
You know, one of the things we talked about is having the ability to complete the simple pass. McDaniel's wide open. You see Shepard here, they've got a better passing quarterback, simple 5-yard route. But once you get the ball to your playmakers outside by the sideline, they can make things happen. So you have to have the ability to take the easy pass and complete it so those athletes like McDaniel can make plays.
And he can make big plays, and he can be a game breaker at any time, both from the special teams and from the wide receiver spot. Play action again for Shepard. Throwing down the sideline, and it's complete. Wide open, Andrea Jones with the catch. Ricky Jackson defending.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. A lot of things going on here. You had a hard play action play fake by Princeton Shepard with a double move being run by the wide receiver along the seam, and Shepard did a good job of sticking that ball in between the cornerback and the free safety for the big completion. 33 yards. Andrea Jones put the tying touchdown against Grambling to send the game into overtime a week ago from 9 yards out. Now he has a big 33-yard reception against Howard University, and Hampton's knocking on the door once again with the ball at the 32-yard line of Howard. First down and 10. Quick pass inside, and on the reception again is Andrea Jones. Edwin Piper there to make the stop defensively. Piner, rather. Edwin Piner, the senior out of U of D High in Detroit, was the 4th leading tackler on the team a year ago for the Howard Bisons. I don't know what's going on between Washington, D.C. and Motown, but there are a whole lot of guys from Detroit, Michigan on this roster. Certainly are. 5 starters on defense, just to name a few. And, and Ron Bartell, the 2nd-round pick from Howard 2 years ago, he was from Detroit as well. So Petty and his staff, they've got the Motown thing down, don't they? They certainly do. A gain of 4 on that last pass. 2nd and 6. Here's Coleman, rather. Here's Coleman on the carry, straight ahead.
close to the first down, about a yard shy. And don't forget, next Sunday, ESPNU brings you 2 women's soccer matches. First at noon Eastern, Santa Clara takes on Texas A&M. Then at 5 Eastern, Connecticut meets a UCLA women's soccer team that's poised to do battle. More on women's soccer on ESPNU next Sunday. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. Third down and 1.
This is typically tough yardage for spread offenses to get, especially against a team like Howard that's pretty stout up front.
Coleman trying to get to that first down marker.
That's
He was hit
running
by number 52, Tim Lockett, but he gets the first down, I believe. Yes, he does. He gets down to the 30-yard line, and they'll move the chains.
Now, this will show up as just a 2-yard gain, but this is Alonzo Coleman at its best. Gets hit clearly 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but keeps his balance and keeps his legs moving forward to gain that first down with pure grit and determination.
Here's the career numbers on Alonzo Coleman, who leads all Division I AA active players right now. 50 rushing touchdowns, 52 total throughout his career. Thrown away. McDaniel was the intended receiver. Hope was covering. And we go back to last week when they played Grambling in the MEAC SWAC Challenge down in Birmingham, Alabama. Coleman, I should say Shepard, had to come out of the ball game. Coleman also. I mean, they lost a lot of players with leg cramps and things like that. And T.J. Mitchell came into the second quarter, and once he got the jitters out of the way, he
settled down and did a great job. But
certainly did.
It also shows you what a great team this is. I mean, at certain points during that game, 3 of their stars were on the sideline. Shepard, McDaniel, and Coleman. Yet they hung in there and they beat what some people think was the best team in black college football.
This time they keep the ball on the ground with Beverly on the carry. Let's look at T.J. Mitchell a week ago. The young man who came off the bench wearing number 4. Came in the second quarter, let his legs do a little bit of work there.
That's Shepard there going out. He caught that bad body cramp.
Caught the cramps early, and then here's T.J. Mitchell coming off the bench and feeling a little heat from Grambling, but came back and led them to a 1-point victory over the defending SWAC champs. It is third down. 3rd and 8. They settled for a field goal the last time they were down this deep into Howard territory. Shepard with plenty of time takes off.
What a tackle.
And what a tackle by Rudy Hardy, number 99, the senior out of Hartford High in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah, you know, when I saw the pre-snap look, I said, wow, they've got him so spread out. The quarterback is going to be a dangerous man. He could run for this. But when you've got guys like Hardy making great tackles from behind, he caught him from behind, getting that ankle tackle, which saved the first down because Shepard had plenty of room to run.
34-yard field goal attempt by Patarini. He's already hit one from 29 yards out today. This kick is up, has the distance, and it is true. 6-0. A pair of field goals is what separates these two teams so far tonight. Back to Hampton in a moment. Back here on the campus of Hampton University at Armstrong Stadium. 31 seconds left in the first quarter. Patarini, a pair of field goals is what put those 6 points on the board for Hampton University. 29 and 34 yards out, and Howard University has done a pretty good job defensively, especially with their backs against the wall in the red zone. And of course, Howard, located in Washington, D.C., founded in 1867, over 7,000 students. They have a football title, and Jay Walker, my partner up in the booth, was the man who engineered that from the quarterback position back in 1993.
And that's a lonely football title. I'm lonely being able to say I'm the only quarterback to ever win a MEAC title at Howard. It's time they kicked it in gear and got us some company.
Andrew Patarini has the ball on the tee. He was 3 of 3 in PATs against Grambling a week ago, made 2 of 4 field goals from 47 and 37 yards out, missed from 39 and 40, and he has a pair so far this evening. And career-wise, 45 of 71.
He's the man. I mean, he's a legitimate NFL prospect. When you talk about that, I mean, he's been accurate, and we've done games where he's nailed 55-yarders before, and he's working on his consistency. Every year he continues to improve, and I think that's one of the key reasons why Hampton is so special, because they've been able to rely on him for the easy field goals they should make time after time again.
That 55-yarder came against Norfolk State last year as a return by Leonard Moore. Once again, Leonard Moore getting a little room. Leonard Moore brings it out across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. 24-yard return, and we have a flag. We may have holding on the return against Howard University. Illegal use of hands or block in the back. And that'll be a penalty against the Bison.
That's more of those penalties you start to see in your first game of the year that you see on film for the first time.
Doing the return. Blocking in the back. 42 in the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Robert Dowdy was the man guilty. Our referee tonight is Andre Lowe. He's assisted as the umpire is Dan O'Brien. Jerry Taylor's the head linesman. Curly Nimmons the line judge. The field judge Michael Carter. Willie Robinson is the side judge, and Eric McCoy is the back judge. First down and 10. Howard University. We may get this play off before the end of the quarter. The ball is at the 11-yard line, and we will get it off. Here's a little pass out in the flat, and it's complete, but not much running room for Terry Perry, as Baird was right there to make the stop. So the first quarter is coming to an end here in Hampton, Virginia, in this 83rd meeting between the two HUs. Back with the second quarter in a moment.
Wins in the SEC almost done. Charlie Neal has the Battle of the Ages.
6-0 the score here in Hampton, Virginia, as we start the second quarter. Hampton University has the lead. Howard University has the ball. First down or second down, actually, 2nd and 6. But one of the things we've noticed is that when you look at the defensive comparison stats, what sticks out in your mind?
Well, I think the fact that, you've got to be able to run stop. I mean, the points allowed. So your defense can be great like Howard's was, but if you're not scoring any points, it doesn't matter how great your defense is. And these are 2005 stats, so, we're going to see what they do this year. But another thing we talked about off camera was the 3-4 defense that Hampton has made a successful transition to. And you got guys like Marcus Dixon that are just beasts playing defensive end / defensive tackle / outside linebacker. That makes it easy.
Well, one of the other things that you have is front people allow the linebackers like Durant to roam sideline to sideline. And again, the reason a lot of schools like Division I AA teams go with 3-4 defenses, they can't recruit those big guys, those down linemen.
Yeah, there just aren't that many 6'5", 340-pounders that are going to Division I AA schools. And I think one of the few coaches we heard talk about that a while ago was Pete Adrian over at Norfolk State. And he said, if I could find a bunch of D tackles, I would love to play a 4-3. But on this level, the 1AA level, you just don't find that many athletic defensive tackles.
Blandon on the carry that time, gains yards up to the 18-yard line. And it'll be third down. We'll call it 3.
This is where they need to audible and take a deep shot. You got one-on-one coverage down here on the bottom. I'd like to see him try to throw a fade route.
And the quarterback, Blandon, decides he's going to keep it, and he is slung down viciously by number 98, Kendall Langford, the defensive end out of Petersburg High in Petersburg, Virginia. Langford was all over that one, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, they did him a favor by running the ball. They had 9 people in the box, knowing that Howard was going to run, and Durant did a good job of stuffing the run, making the quarterback change directions. But what you have to do is you got to throw the ball to loosen them up sometimes. And by running the football in that circumstance there, they did the Pirate defense a favor.
Langford, preseason first-team All-Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. He had 6 sacks as a true freshman back in 2004. So Langford is accustomed to getting into the backfield as we get another punt from Howard University, and Jamal Blanchard. Marquay McDaniel standing as a high snap. And a good job of getting the ball off. McDaniel fields it at the 48-yard line, has the right sideline, but a good defensive play by Rondo Jameson saved the day.
He sure did save the day because he was being blocked by 2 Pirates, and he was just athletic enough to make McDaniel have to leave his feet. But you take a look at McDaniel. Look how he sets up this punt return. Catches the ball. As soon as he catches it, makes up his mind. Hard cut to the right, getting outside, getting to that wall. And then you'll see number 9 for the Bison come in here and uproot him, shielding off that block. But McDaniel was that close to breaking a big one.
Hard return by McDaniel. It is first down and 10 for the Pirates of Hampton University, leading in this ball game. And Alonzo Coleman, the second back in the eye, behind Curtis Lewis, the fullback. Shepard on the play action, steps up, decides to take off and run. Picks up yards down to about the 30-yard line before Hardy came up to make the stop defensively. Number 99.
That's a good job by Princeton Shepard. You know, watching him progress through the years, he's always overthinking, thinking so much about, am I going the right place with the ball? But now he's letting his football instincts take over. Guys not open, don't like what you see, take off and run.
A lot of seniors on this team, 28 to be exact. 10 have started all 4 years since they've been here. 17 of them started a year ago. Princeton Shepard being one of those 28 seniors. And he hands off to Alonzo Coleman, another senior, who tries the right side, gains maybe a yard. And log on to your new online source for all things college sports, ESPNU.com. This brand new online service will be a gateway to all college sports content from ESPN, combining the latest news with an expanded collection of new exclusive materials, scores, columns, video, and audio highlights, along with podcasts, live streaming games, and much, much more. Log on to ESPNU.com today. 12:09 remaining, second quarter. 6-0 our score. Hampton with a 3rd down and 4 facing them in Howard territory once again. And Alonzo Coleman up the gut. Coleman still on his feet, cuts it back, breaks the tackle with a spin. Touchdown, Hampton. 29-yard run.
Outstanding job by Alonzo Coleman, showing us why he's the active 1AA leader in touchdowns from the running back position. And he's fantastic. This is Coleman. Great job by the offensive line. Big hole. Curtis Lewis, the fullback, blocking. And Coleman gets in the secondary. He's not happy with just a big game, making a great spin move on the safety coming up, trying to make the tackle. And that was all Coleman. And now you see what all the talk is about, why he's up for the Peyton Award, because he's Mr. Excitement when you talk about Hampton Pirates football.
Patarini looking for his 140th extra point. And it is good, career-wise. 3 plays, 35 yards. A minute 39 off the clock, a 29-yard run for Alonzo Coleman. What an exciting young runner. 13-0. Hampton on top of Howard. There's Alonzo Coleman, the senior, young man who he was coached, his brother rather, was coached by Joe Taylor at Virginia Union University. And let's watch this exciting young senior.
Look at Akeem Lamar, number 71, the big right tackle. He was the reason Coleman was able to have such success on that run. He clipped the linebacker who was responsible for blocking. And after that, you get a great running back like Alonzo Coleman in the secondary. He's going to find a way to will himself into the end zone.
Coleman with 64 yards on 10 carries already. All-time touchdown list, Montrell Coley. He tied him for the Hampton all-time touchdown list. Yes, 53 touchdowns, 51 of them coming on the ground.
You see those touchdowns by Coleman. Every year since he's been a Pirate, he's been in double digits for touchdowns. That's a dream season for most. For him, it's just another day at the office.
Perry bringing it out of the end zone. Perry stood on his feet. There's a flag down back at the 20-yard line. Perry brings it out to the 39-yard line, but more importantly, a good return. But the illegal block will nullify the good return for Howard University and Terry Perry.
Wow, that's unfortunate. That was a great return. And the thing that's even more tough to swallow if you're Coach Petty is that block occurred completely after the play was already by him.
Right. No need.
No need.
Well, you call that an unforced error, right?
Unforced error.
Doing the return. Block in the back. 99 on the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
See if we can see it again.
I mean, he's by him. You know, he's completely by him. He's out there, out of the picture. And you see that cut there? I mean, that's so close. Two guys there. He had Terry Perry thrown a great shake on the guy to make him fall, and he just kind of got caught pushing him. But that's unfortunate. But you're not going to beat the #1 team in the country hurting yourself with penalties like that.
Especially with the ball all the way back to the 10-yard line. This will be the 4th possession for Howard University this evening. Floyd Hagler is now in, number 10 at quarterback. And not much doing there. In fact, they lose yards all the way back to the 5-yard line. Howard University, is Donnell Sands was there defensively for the Pirates of Hampton University. Last time that Hampton had a losing season, it was 1996. They were 5-6, and 5 of those 6 losses were by a total of 17 points.
They just weren't catching any breaks that season.
This pass goes incomplete. On the near side, intended for Landis Hood, or it hit the ground, or did they complete it? It is complete, but it was only good for about 3 yards.
You see this ball, you got to know this. I mean, hit the guy between his numbers. That's just a bad throw there.
That's very close to hitting the ground, huh? 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 for Howard University. And this is another one that is very close. Are they calling it a completion? Yes, they are, but he's going to be a little bit shy of the 1st down, I believe. The pass complete on the far sideline. Larry Duncan on the reception.
You know, part of that as a quarterback, you're bringing the wide receiver down the line, and looks like these wide receivers are playing shortstop right now instead of wide receiver. All these balls on the turf. Get them up. You got to hit it. They got away with one there. That ball clearly hit the ground there. But
if you had replay, well, they're going to punt anyhow, so I guess it wouldn't be challenging it, right?
Yeah, but the key is you've had 2 plays back-to-back, wide receivers wide open, 2 balls on the turf, punt. Now you got a Hampton team that's gaining momentum.
4th time this evening that Howard has punted. The freshman punter getting a workout for the Howard Bison. New route. Alonzo Coleman not in the lineup, but Marquay McDaniels back there to field it across the midfield stripe. Gets to the corner once again, trying to look up, set up his block, cuts it back inside, and he's dropped right at about the 39-yard line. 9:23 the time remaining. Ednor Cooper on the stop. 30-yard punt, 5-yard return, and we'll be back. 13-0. Hampton University on top of Howard, and Hampton has the ball in great field position. Don't forget Thursday night, a couple of in-state rivals collide right here on ESPNU. Tennessee Tech and the Golden Eagles take on the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State down in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It's college football prime time, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. That'll be Thursday night at 7 Eastern, right here on ESPNU. And for more information, log on to ESPN.com. 9:23 the time remaining. Along with Jay Walker, I'm Charlie Neal. Again, I know your heart is in the Howard University team and trying to figure out if they can overcome all this bad field position they've had today.
Yeah, I just like good football. And Howard's playing bad football right now. And Hampton is starting to put on the clinic and starting to find the groove. And this game could get ugly quick if Howard can't match their intensity.
There's a completion to McCray McDaniel out in the flat, and Pierce on the stop defensively for Howard University. But it looks like a 1st down for the Hampton Pirates to see where they mark the ball.
You know, and we talk about good football. I mean, that's good football. You know, when you talk about what are they doing, what do I mean by that? You send a guy in motion, you have him run a 5-yard out pattern, hit him with the ball, let him run upfield after the catch. Everybody's happy. So I just like watching good football. And Hampton is showing me good football right now.
3 different receivers have caught passes for Hampton University this evening. Here's Shepard going back to the air. Wide open in the near flat is Andrea Jones. And Pope finally knocks him out of bounds, but not before the completion. 1st time possessions for Hampton. They started at their own 22 and 39. The last and the 20 and the 8. Howard University 35. 3 plays and a touchdown, and this drive started at the Howard 39. So they've had great field position so far this evening.
And the great teams are mad they had to punt on that first possession.
Yeah.
Because ever since then, they've been scoring, and that's what good teams do. Once they figure you out, after all the gadgets and gimmickry, they start to wear you down over and over and over again.
They had gotten to midfield in that possession. Here's Coleman down the middle again. He tripped up over his own man, the offensive center, Terrence Smith. That's who he tripped up over. He wasn't tackled.
You know, the key to what makes Coleman such a great back is he's an old school running back. He hits the hole hard. Watch this. Once he gets the ball, hit the hole, young man. He goes in there full speed in 2 to 3 steps. He's going about 100 miles an hour. He's got such great burst and acceleration where he's always leaning forward for that positive yardage.
The center, 6'68", Terrence Smith was the man who tripped up Coleman. So the offense is a good defense for Howard, right? Here's a pass into the corner.
Beautiful.
Touchdown, Marquay McDaniel. From 13 yards out, Princeton Shepherd with another touchdown pass. 33rd touchdown pass of his career.
This is beautiful. This is the perfect call. You got Marquay McDaniel, your best wide receiver, lined up one-on-one against Pope, your best defender. Marquay sells him hard on the inside post move, runs the corner. Shepherd just throws the ball to a location. Touchdown, Pirates.
8:25 the time remaining in the second quarter. A 4-play, 39-yard drive. Took less than a minute, 58 seconds to be exact. And here's Paterini for the point after. And it is good. And it is 20-0. Howard University trailing the Pirates of Hampton University. And we see Mr. Shepherd with his 33rd career touchdown pass. $8:25 to go in the first half. 20-0 Hampton University over the top of the Bisons of Howard University. And we're at Hampton University for this college football matchup between the two HUs from the MEAC at Armstrong Stadium. I'm along with Jay Walker. I'm Charlie Neal. Glad you could be with us. And what a pass pattern they ran. As you see Howard in the white and the home team in the dark blue jerseys.
And, let's talk about why this play worked. You see one-on-one coverage, Marquay McDaniel in the slot, going in motion. The moment he goes in motion and the Howard Bison defender runs with him, as a quarterback, you know you've got man-to-man coverage. You see Pope getting there a little late. McDaniel sets him up with the 1-2 step to the outside. Easy route, easy throw, easy touchdown for Hampton University. But great recognition by Princeton Shepherd of realizing one-on-one coverage with my best wide receiver going to the end zone.
He's the go-to guy. We talked to the offensive coordinator, Chris Beatty, yesterday, and he was talking about the fact that he's their go-to guy. As Moore will field it for Howard University, and he is dropped at about the 22-23 line. And that's where Howard University will take over after Henry Baird on the stop. Howard University drives have started at their own 10, 14, 11, 10. This is one of their best field positions to start the day because they had some good field position on kick returns, but penalties drove them back.
Yeah, they need this right now because their defense is starting to get worn out, and they're starting to think same old thing. We got a good defense, but you keep us on the field too long, we're going to get tired. Right now, the Howard offense needs to respond by putting some points on the board.
And Howard has had a pretty good defense the last couple of years as they keep the ball on the little pass play out in the flat to the left side, and they have it complete. On the receiving end is Asamu, stopped by Abrams.
You see Coach Ferguson, the offensive coordinator, trying to get Hagler out the pocket so they can complete easy passes there, and it's a good job just getting positive yardage on first down. That's the key to most football games.
And there's a bobble by the quarterback, Hagler. That doesn't help the situation, and Jamari Jones was on top of that all the way, number 54.
By bobbling the snap, you negate the things we just talked about. The key is positive yardage on first down, and you give it all back on second down. And one thing this offense is not designed for is third and +5. Anything meaning 5 yards or more needed, they struggle attaining this offensively.
3rd down and 8 now. Hagler will work out of the shotgun. They say he's probably the better passer of all the quarterbacks we've talked about. And here's a long pass, and we may have interference. No, they're going to call incidental contact. They're going to call incidental contact on that. Alexander was the intended receiver, Ulysses Alexander. And we did get a flag finally.
There's a flag on the other side of the field, but take a look there, and that was clearly incidental contact. You know, the ball was thrown, and Darius Swinton, the defensive back, was accelerating, trying to catch up to him, and the feet got tangled.
Holding, defense, number 1, 10 yards from the previous spot, first down.
Tavares Bain, the senior out of Miami's Northwestern High, who transferred in here from the University of Miami. He was first team all-conference a year ago, guilty of holding. So the Bison get a break with that penalty, and the ball is out to the 34-yard line. First down and 10, 7:07 to go in the second quarter. Blitz by Hampton. Hagler trying to get around the corner. And we got a late flag hit out of bounds. There's going to be a personal foul called against the Hampton Pirates. Kendall Langford was the man who hit the quarterback Hagler late.
And I think that was just more frustration. I mean, Langford did a good job of running after the quarterback and making Hagler continue to wait and wait and wait until he can turn that corner.
Foul. Defense, number 98, hit out of bounds. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
So Howard University trying to get some offense. They did get to midfield on their second possession, but this is the first time they've gotten across midfield today.
And that was a dangerous tackle. I mean, that's one of those horse collar tackles that have been banned in the NFL. Right. And you can really tear up somebody's knee and end their career off of that one just from him being tired and tackling the quarterback out of bounds.
From the 44 of Hampton, Howard University with the ball. Their best field position so far today. Perry in motion. Offsides against Hampton. Flag is thrown, and we have a completion to Alexander. Tavares Bain on the stop defensively, but we're going to get an offsides penalty against Hampton, and I'm sure Howard will take the penalty and bring up a 1st and 5 and decline to play.
I would think so. I mean, it is Howard, academic institution, so would you rather have 2nd and 5 or 1st and 5?
Let me think.
See, you didn't go to Howard. You got to think about it.
Hampton penalized 9 times.
Offside. Defense, number 58.
First.
5 yards from the previous
last
spot.
week against Grambling.
And they're on pace to do that again with 5 penalties thus far in the first half.
Not something Joe Taylor takes very lightly. He's not very happy when you make those kind of mistakes. In first games, you may see a little jitters, but you know, they should have settled down by now. It is 1st down and 5. Ball at the 39. Hagler stands in there, throws. Perry can't hold on to it. Terry Perry, 5'8" junior out of Miami's Northwestern High.
Say that 5 times in a row. Terry Perry, Terry Perry, Terry Perry. I can't do it.
It is 2nd and 5.
Ball there, and, you know, he got the alligator arms there. But his quarterback didn't help him out by floating that ball across the middle of the field.
Howard University. Schedule doesn't get much easier for them as they go forward. They'll have to play Rutgers, FAMU and Rutgers coming up. Hagler stands in there again. Perry with the great catch that time. He dropped the previous one, but he made a circus catch that time. Mr. Perry, last year played in 8 games, had only 1 catch. So he's equaled his output from a year ago.
Oh, great job. He's a converted running back playing that slot receiver, and ball was thrown too far ahead of him. He's a small guy, 5'8", but he elevates to make the great grab.
Remember this play as we have an incompletion on the pass. That was intended for Leonard Moore. Justin Durant covering defensively, but it may have been tipped a little bit. It was by one of the up linemen. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 29. Down the middle, Perry on the reception. And it's, no, one official called it incomplete. It is incomplete. An incomplete pass that hit the ground.
And that's one you got to have. I mean, they bring the blitz up the middle. Justin Durant comes on the linebacker blitz. This is just converting a hot read right there. And Perry does a good job, but just deliver a strike in his chest, and he could have ran clearly to the end zone.
3rd and 10. Hagler in trouble. He's going to take off and run, but he's not going to get the first down. He's dropped at about the 23-yard line.
I think his original intention was to try and outrun the linebacker that was coming up on him, but once he realized that was Justin Durant, and there's no such thing as outrunning Justin Durant, he decided to cut up in there and came up short of the first down.
A year ago against Howard University,
they're going for it.
Justin Durant had 13 tackles, 8 solo, and they're going to go for it. Howard is on 4th down. 4th and 4. The pass is caught, but it's short of a first down. It's going to be short. Justin Durant was there to make sure that it wasn't much else gained. Let's see it again.
You know, Hampton's bringing everything but the kitchen sink. Free safety, strong safety, linebackers, running back out the backfield, ran that route just 1 yard too short, and you can't fault anybody there. That's just good football. When you're going to bring a blitz like that, you know the running back's going to shorten the route, and the running back has to shorten that route because he knows his quarterback doesn't have a lot of time. So it was good offense and it was good defense. Unfortunately for Howard University, they came up just a yard short.
I talked to Joe Taylor about how he feels his team did and would do this week, and he said, you know, you feel that you make your biggest improvements in a season between your first and second ball games.
And I would agree wholeheartedly with that.
Shepard dancing, runs into one of his offensive linemen, Justin Gary, the right guard, before he stopped by Wooten. You know, one of the things that you look at this Hampton team, they have 3 new faces in the starting offensive alignment. Terrence Smith, his first career start was against Grambling. Justin Gary at the right guard, his first career start was against Grambling. Dennis Conley at left guard, his first career start was against Grambling. Nevin McCaskill is in there, a veteran starter, and Brandon Walker is not here tonight. He was suffered from dehydration a week ago.
He left it all on the field.
He left it on the field, and they left him down in Birmingham, and he didn't get back till later on after the team did. As Coleman takes the ball and goes off the left side, and they said he'll be ready to come back to practice on Wednesday. So they're without him. Plus they lost Harrell, Adam Harrell, who broke his leg in camp, and he's told me that is Harrell today that he plans to be back in the lineup in a couple of weeks.
They got these new faces and guys injured and all this, and they still won. They're still undefeated, and that lets you know the depth of this program. And, you know, just a great job. Hats off. That means year in and year out, they're not relying on recruiting classes. They're reloading every year.
That's what you have to do. And, you know, they lost an Ardell Daniels, a 1,000-yard rusher from a year ago, and they bring in a Van Morgan who is not playing today. He's injured, who replaced Ardell Daniels as a backup for Alonzo Coleman. Then you have Kevin Beverly, who receives in spot duty tonight. Here's Shepard trying to get to the first down marker.
Depend on the spot, and they got a very favorable spot there.
Daniel Pierce was the man on the stop defensively. They say first down. He's the linebacker from Norfolk, Virginia, Norview High. You talk about Chris Beatty, who's the new offensive coordinator for this Hampton University team, replacing Fred Keiss. He was 40-2 as a high school coach over at Lansdowne High, and he also coached Percy Harvin, a young man who's down in Florida, raising all kinds of
year last year,
raising all kinds of havoc, right?
You know, one person once told me the key to great coaching is having great players, and you've got the National Player of the Year. You should go 40-2.
Keeping it on the ground and running off the left side again, the Hampton University Pirates with Alonzo Coleman before Dowdy made the stop defensively for Howard University. Ardell Daniels had 1,044 yards a year ago and 9 touchdowns. And he moved on. He transferred in here from the U.S. Naval Academy. Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Hampton has scored on every drive except their opening drive when they got to midfield and had to punt. Hit a couple of field goals and a couple of touchdowns. A run by Coleman and a pass to Marquay McDaniel. Play clock down to 2 seconds. Not much doing that time as Cooper made the stop defensively. On the quarterback Shepherd. Next Sunday, ESPNU brings you 2 women's soccer matches. It starts at noon, kicking off with Santa Clara taking on Texas A&M. Then at 5 Eastern, Connecticut meets UCLA. It's women's soccer next Sunday right here on ESPNU. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. It is 3rd down and 6. Ball at the 35-yard line. Princeton Shepherd, 5th all-time leading passer in Hampton University history. Wide open, just overthrown, intended for Andrea Jones, who has a couple of receptions tonight, 3 to be exact, for 48 yards. It'll bring up a 4th down punting situation. Only the 2nd time today that Hampton has had to punt. And that'll bring on Jamal Blanchard once again.
That was a good job by the Howard defense of getting a stop and giving your offense a chance to get the ball back with less than 2 minutes to go to possibly put something on the scoreboard.
Good kick. Turned the ball over. Fair catch called for and made by Orlandis Hood. Right at about the 26-yard line. And that's where Howard will go to work after a 39-yard punt. But more than the yards on the punt, it was the height. He didn't give anybody a chance to run that back.
That's true. Let's take a spot shot of why Justin Durant is such a great football player. You see him way back in coverage, but he's got the ability. Once that ball left the quarterback's hands, his acceleration to the ball limited the amount of yards that the Howard running back was able to gain. We talk about what does it take to be a great football player. Having the speed of Justin Durant is one of the things that makes him great.
Here's Rutherford getting a pass out in the flat, but a lot of blue jerseys around him defensively, led by Pat Pearson. Also over there, number 25, Calvin Bannister, to help out on the stop.
See, I don't like that call. You're talking about a 2-minute offense situation, yet you're still going to throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, keep the clock running, and just basically it's a dead play. You didn't really accomplish anything you wanted, and you gave the defense an opportunity to gain momentum by starting off with negative yardage.
Hampton called this timeout with 1:12. Go figure.
They want to force Howard to punt the ball, and if you punt the ball to Hampton, who are you punting to? Marquay McDaniel, so he can be their greatest weapon sometimes. So, you know, one thing that Hampton does, if they get an opportunity to put you away early, they're going to do that.
So you're talking about Justin Durant and being among the elite in terms of college linebackers. Mel Kiper, our insider, rated 160 players, 80 seniors and 80 juniors, 5 at each position. And Justin Durant was the only 1AA player from a non-Division I school who was listed among the linebackers. And they're the linebackers who they rated among the seniors, the top 5 linebackers: Patrick Willis from Ole Miss, Nate Harris from Louisville, Anthony Waters from Clemson, who I believe is out.
He's out for the season now with an ACL.
And then, of course, Justin Durant and Justin Warren from Texas A&M. So that's quite an elite company to be in.
Yeah, and if those guys are better than Durant, I want to see them. Because I've been watching football for a while, and Justin Durant is just a playmaker. He's fun to watch, and he makes watching linebacker play fun.
He's up there with some of those Penn State guys. He's rated on the inside. There's a couple Penn State linebackers rated on the outside, and of course that's linebacker U. It is 2nd and 15. Low snap. Hagler, and he's plowed under.
And I'm pretty sure that Hampton is going to take another timeout and try and stop the clock.
Yes, 3rd and even more real estate lost on that particular play.
You know, it's little things like this. You know, everybody's saying, why are they calling timeouts? Hampton realized we're by 20 right now. Howard could get hot and score 3 touchdowns and take the lead. But if Hampton has the ability to even score a field goal right now to make it 23 points instead of 20, you're talking about 3 touchdowns and an extra point somewhere along the way. So the coaching carousel and the thought process of Joe Taylor is constantly churning, got the wheels in motion. What do we do to put this game away early and get ready for the rest of the conference season? And
with all the success that Hampton University's had, one of the, if there has been a negative, is the times that they go to the 1AA playoffs, they have not been successful. And I asked Joe Taylor about that. He says, you know, in order to be great, you have to be consistently good. So one of the things they have to do is understand what it takes to get there. Fortunately, you have 28 seniors on this team who've been there before, and maybe they'll get over the hump if they get there again this year.
Yeah, and I think, one of the painful things about those losses is the loss at home. When you go to the playoffs and you go on the road, you're supposed to lose. It's based on seeding, but they had a home game here last year and did not show up to play, and that loss at home was especially painful to swallow.
That was against the University of Richmond. Here's Rutherford, right side, still on his feet. Still will be short of a first down, but fighting very hard as Tavares Bain made the stop defensively with under a minute to go. The clock is stopped once again by the Pirates of Hampton. I believe this will be their last timeout.
Third and final timeout of the half.
And that's good coaching, Like we always used to say in the NFL, Brian Billick and Ray Perkins, all my different coordinators say we got 3 timeouts. They don't penalize us if we use all 3 in the first half, so let's not take them home with them.
Yeah, right, because you lose them, and it's not like you can carry them home with you. Right?
Once the half is over, they expire. But one thing that Howard has done well throughout the years, we talked about their lack of offense over the past couple of years. They've had the ability to run the ball, and when you saw them do this last play was go back to being quarterback under center, run the ball, and just snap out there and do some power run blocking, and that's a great job of running by the big running back Rutherford there. And he's one of those guys with his size and frame at 5'10", 215 pounds. When he gets moving, he's a load to bring down. 7
different receivers have caught passes for Howard University tonight from 2 different quarterbacks.
Has anybody caught a pass over 12 yards, though?
Yes. Well, no. Yeah, well, yes.
Think about it. It's close. Yeah. The fact you got to think about it.
1 for 15.
The fact you got to think about it lets you know it's not been a passing attack. They've completed balls, but they're not attacking the defense. They're just dinking and dunking all over the place. Well, yeah,
you've got 5-yarders, 3-yarders, 3-yarders, 5-yarders, and 9-yarders. You're correct. But we did have 1 15-yarder. So a punting situation facing the freshman, Jamal Blanchard, once again. I should say Seri Nuru, the punter for Howard University, once again.
They're going for the block.
Gets it off. And, of course, Marquay McDaniel has been so close, as you said before, to breaking one, but he will not get a chance to run this one back as Howard pins him back at about the 32-yard line after a 36-yard punt. 48 seconds is the time remaining in the first half. 20-0 our score. Hampton University with the ball at their own 32.
Now, this is where the rule change in college football really makes a difference. Before, 48 seconds in college football, you could run 5-6 plays. Get a first down, keep going, you could do it. Now with the new rules change, 48 seconds, lest you get out of bounds, you can run 2 plays possibly.
That's it, huh? A lot of receivers spread out. We may see a little short Hail Mary. Here's Shepard going to the left side. Still on his feet. Remember, they can't stop the clock because they've used all their timeouts. He gets a first down. He gets about 16 yards, make it 15 on the run, Princeton Shepard, before he is finally stopped by Cooper. The clock continuing to run.
See, now it's going, and it keeps going. Before it would have stopped, but just by him being on the center, he wasted 7 seconds.
Pass on the outside in the flat to Andrea Jones, who gets out of bounds and stops the clock.
Well, and I actually think that's one of the rules changes for the better. By allowing the game to keep running and not giving the offense a chance just to stop the clock forever on a first down. I think that really made a difference. When I got to the NFL, one thing we talked about in college, you give us a minute 10, we can run a full 2-minute drill with no timeouts.
That was a 6-yard gain on the pass to Jones. Shepard falls down.
And that's going in the half right there.
Yeah, they can't get set because
the wide receivers was
way downfield.
So
there's no way they're going to get back in time to snap the ball here. And that's going to be the end of the first half. Howard University failed to put any points on the board. 20 put on by the Pirates of Hampton University. There's been offense for Hampton. There's been defense for Hampton. And they lead it at the half in Hampton. We're at halftime here on the campus of Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia for this Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference matchup. Hampton University on top 20-0. And let's take a listen to our Showtime marching band from Howard University under the direction of John Newsom. And, of course, some very interesting highlights in the first half. Mostly all of them belonging to Hampton University, Jay.
Yeah, the game was at a standstill until Alonzo Coleman decided to take over, showing you some spectacular footwork with great moves, get into the end zone, showing everybody why he's everybody's All-American. And they weren't done there. Then you saw Princeton Shepard get to the act, hooking up with his main man, Marquay McDaniel. Outstanding one-on-one coverage, great move, touchdown for Hampton, and they started to gain momentum. On the other side of the ball, you talk about Howard University. Well, we said they have to find a quarterback. Here it was William December running hard for some tough yardage, number 11. Good try. Then you see the next quarterback comes in. We're talking about Bladen, the quarterback. He gets in there, and he's trying to do something good. Didn't quite work out for him. And then you talk about Floyd Hagler gets in there. He's trying again, but no success at the quarterback position, which is why Howard has been shut out in the first half.
20-0. And let's take a listen to the Hampton University marching band under the direction of Al Davis.
Bob Seger, Face the Promise. Available everywhere September 12th.
As we get ready to start the second half, along with Jay Walker, I'm Charlie Neal. The Pirates of Hampton at home. This is their home opener. They're leading the Bison of Howard 20-0. Let's look at some first half stats. And I think the one thing that sticks out in your mind is the 260 total yards for Hampton to 109 for Howard University.
Yeah, and that's very impressive by Hampton because they're doing it against what's historically been one of the better defenses in the MEAC Conference, and they're having their way with them today. And the 132 yards seems like Alonzo Coleman came to play today. And if you're Howard, you got to figure out, what are we going to do at quarterback? That was the question we all had. How would the quarterback monster at Howard do against Hampton? So far, no results.
And it's not a controversy either.
No, they need to trade for Princeton Shepard. Get one Princeton Shepard, you can eliminate the three quarterbacks that they've tried to use today.
And we haven't even seen Darryl Turner in the lineup, a 6'5" junior from Philadelphia who has a strong arm, as Howard University will get the ball to start the second half. On the return for the Bison, Leonard Moore along the left side. Jamari Jones on the stop defensively. Let's go back to that quarterback comparison once again, Jay, and look at the fact that they had to use three different quarterbacks and what Blandon and Hagler did against Hampton.
What I'm saying is they're just throwing balls. They're throwing because they have to. They're not attacking the defense. So what they're trying to do is just throw the ball and manage the game. You've got 8 completions, but you've got less than 50 yards throwing the football. That's not throwing the ball. That's not passing. That's just throwing because you have to, not that you want to.
Blandon's in there. Keon Coleman we're seeing for the first time tonight in the lineup for Howard University. And Rutherford has the ball in his hands, but has nowhere to run and nowhere to hide because Justin Durant, along with Jamari Jones, was there to make the stop defensively.
When you've got 2 active inside linebackers like Jamari Jones and Durant, they're going to get to runs that are in the middle of the field. And you saw them attacking there.
And we have an injury. Howard's right tackle, DeMarcus Floyd, is down on the field, a senior out of Page High in Greensboro, North Carolina. They have got stepped on in that pileup there with Justin Durant and Jones making the stop on Antoine Rutherford. Howard University will take on Florida A&M. Their home opener will be next Saturday down at Green Stadium in Washington, D.C. Then they go up to Jersey to take on a Rutgers team that looked very, very good today against the University of Illinois.
Yeah, we talked about Rutgers. They've looked good the past 2 weeks. They are rolling on all cylinders. And it all started from last season. Rutgers went to a bowl game, and they showed well in the bowl game and basically picked up right where they left off in 2005. So in 2006, they've got high expectations for the State College of New Jersey. What do they say? The State University of New Jersey? Something like that.
Howard University, one of the founding schools for the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, way back when the conference first started in 1971. They started football on this campus at Howard University back in 1893. They've had a number of coaches of the year. Remember a young man by the name of Tillman Cease back in 1972. There was Doug Porter in 74, Willie Jeffries in 87, and Steve Wilson in 1989 and 1993. And there you see the young man, DeMarcus Floyd, going off.
You know, you see what happens here. If you take a look at the lower left portion of your screen, you see the right tackle there. He's there trying to do his drive block there, and oh, look at that. Marcus Dixon tackling the quarterback, and that's just a case of Floyd being too close to where the action was happening. He was blocking his man, but Dixon, just being a football player, inadvertently rolled up on his knee.
Andre Townsell will replace him at the right tackle spot. And it is second down. 2nd and 10. Landon rolling to his left, takes off. He's going to keep the ball and runs right into the arms of Justin Durant. It's like Pac-Man. Come on here. I'm going to gobble you up.
Come on. I mean, you know, Durant, what he's doing, he's showing off right now. He's running sideline to sideline. On the first play, they ran right up the middle. Durant was there. On the next play, they try and run a sweep outside the pocket, and your middle linebacker like Justin Durant running sideline to sideline. That's that motor everybody talks about.
Jerry Holmes, their defensive coordinator, says Justin Durant feels he needs to tackle and make a tackle on every play. Not that he's out of control like some players might be all over the field. As Blandon, nice step on the outside, gets the first down up across the 40 to about the 42 before Jamari Jones made the stop.
I want you to take a look at this block. We talked about Justin Durant getting it done. Well, look at the lead blocker here. This is a great job of blocking. You'll see Durant coming up to make a tackle, then boom, he gets put on his waist side, but put on his behind. That's a great lead block, and that's what sprung him for the first down.
1st and 10, Howard University. The pass, and it's complete for a first down. All the way across midfield into Hampton territory. Tavares Bain on the coverage of Larry Duncan, who made the reception. What do you think Ray Petty and the offense talked about at halftime with Linwood Ferguson?
Just doing the little things right. You know, doing stuff like this. We move the pocket, guys wide open. You got to hit the wide receiver in his chest for the completion. Settle down, calm your nerves, and just play football. And
again, the rollout to the left off the hands of the intended receiver on the far sideline. And that was Asamu.
And I like what offensive coordinator Ferguson is doing right now for Howard. He realizes his quarterbacks just aren't comfortable in the pocket throwing the ball. They haven't mastered the passing game yet. So what do? You move the pocket. That way you're avoiding the rush getting to you right away. And also you give them simple reads. Either this guy's wide open or you run it or throw the ball away.
Keon Coleman still hasn't touched the ball tonight, and he's leading out on the block to the left side. There's a pass, and it's good for a first down in front of the Howard University bench, inside the 40, down to about the 36-yard line. And again on the catch that time was Asamu, as Darius Swinton finally knocked him out of bounds.
Simple route, but tough throw. I'll give the quarterback Bladen a lot of credit here. He got his shoulders around and cocked it back and threw that completion there. Running hard to his left, still had the control to torque his body and to get that completion. A lot harder than it looks.
1st and 10, Howard University now to keep it on the ground, and Antoine Rutherford breaks tackles, finally brought down by Justin Durant.
It looked like he was going to get away from that tackle, but one thing they teach great tacklers is you tackle them high, you hold on all the way to the end. So it's like a good cow wrestler there. Look at the initial contact by Rutherford and Durant. Two good players. Durant's got him. He's there. He's holding on, and bringing him down with a good shoestring tackle.
2nd down, roll to the short side of the field. And now here's Landon. He's all over the place, like a little jitterbug over there, right? Darius Swinton on the stop.
His instinct's starting to come back, and that's one of the things that happens when you play in a game against a team that has a lot of speed on defense like Hampton. Your eyes adjust very quickly to the opposing color. You don't look at numbers, but you see flashes of blue, and you start to make a cut here. And another flash of blue, you make another cut here. And Bland did a good job of gaining positive yardage there just by running away from the color.
There was a penalty flag on the play. Hampton had 12 men on the field, and may have been 13. So they were trying to move their defense around, and the penalty finally was detected by one of the
Illegal substitution. Defense, runner did not get off the field. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
And as you see Joe Taylor on the sideline.
Look, run, big fella. Look at the big fella trying to run. He's going on all cylinders, and he wasn't even close to making it off.
That was big number 99, Donnell Sands. Been a receiver, he might have made it, huh?
He had a chance, yeah. Or even a defensive back. But D-tackle, I don't like his chance.
December in a quarterback right now. And December rolling to the right. Gets away from the defender.
Ooh, he took a shot.
And finally got brought down, but the man he got away from, number 25 for Hampton University, was Calvin Bannister. And finally brought down by Kendall Langford.
And now you see December leaving the game, and I say I'm not a fan of switching quarterbacks in between plays. It'll work every now and then, but you've got to let a QB get his rhythm. And unless it's an injury, let a quarterback find a groove. You can't continue to change quarterbacks in the middle of a series.
Second deepest penetration for Howard tonight. That ball was tipped to look like as it left the quarterback's hands. That was a third down play.
Just no rhythm, and now, you know, they're bringing in another quarterback, and they're doing this shuffle, and I just, you know, sometimes I just don't get it. I understand you want to stick to your script if you've got something that you like, and it worked early, but they figured it out.
Actually, that was a second down play. This is third down, 3rd and 10 right now. They had gotten down to the 20-yard line and turned it over on downs. They're trying to get down right now even deeper. Here's a pass in the flat, little too short. Man wide open, Keon Coleman, and he puts his hands up in frustration, said, hey, you know, I shouldn't even have to dive for this ball. He's standing up. He could have gone almost waltzed into the end zone.
Yeah, but that's the problem when you have rotating quarterbacks. They don't get a chance to find a rhythm. They don't know the speed of the game. They're going in, they're going out wide open, but what he didn't do was set his feet and throw the ball. He tried to throw the ball off his back leg, and so many quarterbacks make that mistake of trying to throw the ball off the back leg, and you've got statistics that show you the completion percentage goes down when you throw off your back leg.
Dennis Weiber, a freshman from Berlin, Germany, with a 39-yard field goal or 43-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up. He's not going to get there. His first collegiate attempt, and it's no good. And when we come back, it'll be HBCU Trivia Night. Stay with us. We're in Hampton, Virginia for this MEAC matchup. 20-0 our score here. Hampton University over Howard University. All the scoring taking place in the first half, in which Hampton University alum was the founder of Tuskegee University and author of Up From Slavery.
Take a look at Booker T. Washington.
And he was the first principal of Tuskegee University. It was called Tuskegee Institute way back then. 11 minutes to go. Under 11 minutes. The clock ticking for the Hampton Pirates, who lead it 20-0. Their first possession of the second half. And what a move by Alonzo Coleman. I'd have been in a stretcher if I'd have tried to make that move.
I mean, the great ones get an opportunity to get away with defying the laws of gravity. You know, hard run inside, and they always teach you cut on your outside foot. But he was able to make that cut on his inside foot and keep going with the balance. Take a look at this one. You'll see what I'm talking about. Going up hard here, he's going to cut off his inside foot, retain his balance, and then accelerate to top speed for one of the most exciting first down runs you'll see.
99 yards for Alonzo Coleman, and now he's over 100 for the day. His best day against Howard in his career was 129 yards 2 years ago, and he's on pace to break that. He came into the game 170 yards shy of the all-time leading rushing record, and he comes out right now for Kevin Beverly for Hampton University, that was held by, and still is, Montrell Coley, who had 38, just a little while longer.
Just a little while longer.
3,839 yards and 49 rushing touchdowns, 50 total touchdowns. He's already surpassed that total. And here's Beverly on the carry straight ahead. Alonzo Coleman again.
One of the things you talk about, Alonzo Coleman, the maturation is, you know, the senior leadership. We talked about how Howard had always held him and limited him. He never had great games, 83 yards. Well, when you're a senior and you kind of go against a team so many times, you know what to expect. And you say you want to end your career without having one team able to say, yeah, but we stopped him all the time. So I think by the time his career is over, after this game, Howard won't be able to say we shut down Coleman. He's out here to prove a point tonight. He's running hard, and he's starting to feel it.
He's only the second back to rush for over 100 yards against Howard in the last 13 ball games. So that's quite an accomplishment and quite an accolade in terms of the defense of Howard University, how they've held great running backs in check, and they're measuring for the first down, and it's short.
You know, when you talk about them being able to hold great running backs down, when you talk about the MEAC conference, this is a running conference. It's not the SWAC, where the SWAC throws the ball all over the place. In the MEAC conference, they run the ball week in and week out. You talk about Bethune likes to run, A&T likes to run. They always run, but this Howard defense has had the recipe for stopping running games.
We're talking about Alonzo Coleman. He was the MEAC Player of the Year offensively a year ago. Preseason pick to repeat that feat again this season, and he's back in the lineup for Coach Joe Taylor. Marquay McDaniel's the man in motion on short yardage situation. Princeton Shepard takes it forward, picks up the first down.
And one of the things you talk about Alonzo Coleman, preseason all-conference player of the year, you know, I'd like to see him really give a serious run, make a serious run for the Peyton Award.
And he's been a candidate the last couple of years.
And he's got what it takes. I mean, he's in the right situation. I think in order to win an award like that, you have to play on a team that's got national recognition, which the Pirates have established. You have to play on a team that loves to run the ball, which Joe Taylor loves to do time and time again. And you also have to play on a team that's successful. You have to win a lot of games, and this Pirate program has won plenty of games during his tenure. So as a senior, I think that'd be an outstanding compliment to have that Peyton Award sitting on his shelf.
He was held to 72 yards by the Bison of Howard a year ago, and here's Shepard back to pass on 1st and 10. Lets it go down the middle. Marquay McDaniel with a great catch. Hands in the air, down to the 16-yard line of Howard. Brought down by Randall Means, but not before the big catch by Marquay McDaniel. For him this evening, that is his 5th reception.
I mean, Shepard throws a rope, and you see McDaniel just calmly go in the air and snatch that ball out of the air. That's talking about a quarterback liking to throw to his favorite receiver, and they've completed that ball time and time again in practice. I'm really impressed by Shepard's poise, knowing where to stick this ball and thread the needle. You see him just fire a rocket. But look at the smoothness. McDaniel almost makes it look effortless, doesn't he?
5th catch, 75 yards for McDaniel, and here goes Coleman to the right side, cutting it back inside, still on his feet. Touchdown, Hampton! 16-yard run.
Look out, y'all. They're rolling. They're rolling. They hit you with the pass, then they come out and hit you with the run. Hampton Pirate football at its best.
It's set up by that 33-yard pass play to Marquay McDaniel. McDaniel with 5 catches, 75 yards and a touchdown. Alonzo Coleman with his 2nd touchdown run of the evening, and Patarini on to make it a 27-0 ball game.
Montrell Coley, I hope you're watching. Your record may go tonight.
Good. 122 yards rushing so far. 6 plays, 75 yards, 2 minutes and 41 seconds off the clock, and a 16-yard touchdown run that gives Coleman his 2nd touchdown of the night. 122 yards for the game. $27-0. Our score, Hampton University over Howard, and what a run by Alonzo Coleman.
Anytime you see a run more than 10 yards, there's a great wide receiver blocking down the field. Take a look at Henry Jones and Marquay McDaniel. McDaniel's in the slot. The moment he gets this linebacker block, that springs Coleman to the outside, and then look at the block and continue downfield where all Coleman has to do is sidestep it, and he goes untouched for a touchdown down the sideline.
16-yard run for Alonzo Coleman. He's over 100, 122 to be exact, and a pair of touchdowns. And Andre Pantarini ready to kick it off. He has never missed an extra point against Howard. 12 of 12, including the one he just made to make it a 27-0 ball game. Perry, along with Moore deep. It'll be Moore in the end zone. He's bringing it out for the second time tonight. And he gets it out shy of the 20 again. He's dropped it about the 18-yard line. Let's go back to Alonzo Coleman. 54 touchdowns, all-time leader in touchdowns in Hampton University history with 54. Montrell Coley had 53. And again, 2 of those 54 were on pass receptions. 52 of them came by way of the ground.
Yeah, congratulations to Coleman. That's a great job there. He's worked hard for it. He deserves it. And, you know, that's just showing success that he's got what it takes to score.
Howard University, second possession of the second half from their own 20-yard line. And here's Keon Coleman with his first carry of the night. And he picks up about 5 yards. Thursday night, a couple of in-state rivals will collide right here on ESPNU. It'll be Tennessee Tech, the Golden Eagles, meeting the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. College football primetime presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. It comes your way Thursday night at 7 Eastern right here on ESPNU.
Middle Tennessee State, huh?
We'll be down there in Murfreesboro. Here they go to the right side this time. Here's Keon Coleman. He's into the secondary. No, that's not Coleman.
Fumble. Whoa.
And he fumbles the ball. That's Birchie on the carry.
Oh.
Let's see who comes up with it. It looks like Hampton. First turnover of the ball game. That was Frank Birchie, a senior, a transfer from Akron, Ohio. His first carry of the night. He broke into the secondary. Tavares Bain came up with the big stop. And they fumbled the ball. That is Howard after the long run. 46 yards was the distance of the run.
Yeah, you know, you see Birchie does a good job of making the first tackler miss, but we talk about the team speed of this Pirate defense, and you got 2 guys that were able to track him down in Bain as well as Bannister that was there. They tracked him down from behind, and they went for the strip once they realized they were going to make the tackle. And unfortunately for Howard, when things just don't go your way, things just don't go your way.
The ball is at their own 16-yard line. It is Hampton University leading 27-0. Shepard back to pass. Puts it over the middle. Has it complete. And down to Faulkner inside or outside the 25 to about the 26 as Rendell Means comes up to make the stop.
You take a look here. He's doing everything right that you need to do. Birchie gets outside. He makes the guy miss. He keeps it there. He's trying to get in the top end speed. But what you have to do when they start closing in on you, cover that football with 2 arms, young man. You keep it out there with 1 arm trying to run from person. You had it on 2 arms, he would have just fell. But you're trying to be pretty and smooth, and you left the ball out there too much, and you took it from your breadbasket.
And that's what defensive backs are taught to do, just hit through the ball. A reversal of the direction by Alonzo Coleman, and guess who's out in front blocking for him? His quarterback, Princeton Shepard.
Oh, you know I saw that. I like that one. You know, Shepard.
Because you never did that, did you?
I always wanted to, but, you know, we were too busy throwing the ball. That's a quarterback's dream. But although I'll give Shepard an A for effort, but he's going to completely miss the guy. Take a look at Shepard. He's going to dive and, but he was enough of a detour.
He blocked the air.
He blocked the air, but that was all Coleman needed when you got a great running back like Alonzo Coleman.
6:27 remaining.
I mean,
third
he didn't
quarter.
even touch him. How do you miss a big D lineman, 6'4", 280 pounds right there in your face, and he didn't get a pinky on him?
Beverly in the lineup. Beverly has the call. Goes to the right side and breaks out into the secondary. Beverly at midfield and down to the 49 of Howard. Daniel Pierce, the linebacker from Norfolk, Virginia. Norview High made the stop.
Look at the offensive line for Hampton starting to force their will, and they got the big tackle pulling Akeem Lamar getting downfield. And Henry Jones again, number 81, doing a great job of downfield blocking from the wide receiver position. I can't say it enough over and over again. big runs have receivers blocking. And take a look at Marquay McDaniel, number 2, mixing it up. You got Henry Jones down there mixing it up. It's a concerted running game by this Pirate offense, and it's fun to watch.
22 yards by Beverly on that last carry. Play action from Shepard. Wide open. Stands in there. Throws. Faulkner has it for a first down at the 35-yard line. Or is that McDaniel? Marquay McDaniel on the reception, rather.
Oh, they're rolling right now. You know, after you hit them with run, then they hit you with a hard play-action fake. This isn't just a fake. This is a hard sell. Watch Shepard. Sell it hard. Keep the ball down there tucked away. Wait for McDaniel to clear the zone. Wide open. That's called knowing what part of the defense you want to attack.
34 yards on the last 2 plays. 22 on the run by Beverly. 12 on that last catch by Marquay McDaniel. And you see the total yards for Hampton. Almost 400 in this ball game so far. And McDaniel is the man in motion to the near side. Straight ahead. They keep the ball on the ground this time, trying to strip it from the hands of the running back, Alonzo Coleman, which he's not going to allow that to happen. We're in Hampton, Virginia for this MEAC matchup between the 2 HUs. And so far, Howard is not the real HU in this ball game so far. Charlie Neal along with Jay Walker. That's okay, Jay. Let me finish my reset. Howard University is in the white jerseys and Hampton University in the dark blue.
I mean, technically, how can you be an HU if once upon a time you were an HI?
Because
you know, then you'd be
they had to come up with a real HU, apparently. Here's Shepard throwing out in the flat. Has it complete to Lomax, the tight end, and Lomax is a little shy of the first down. Brought down at about the 29-yard line by Randall Means.
You know, when you make those conversions, things like that, you just wonder about. Like, I was talking to, our good friend Tom Joyner about, he went to Tuskegee, and we said, well, Tuskegee Institute has put out some great people, the Commodores and all those people, but Tuskegee University hasn't put out the same type people. So with Hampton Institute, that's, the Booker T's and all those people. Hampton University is putting out even greater names because the football program is rolling. So I'm just trying to find some way to defend the Howard University Bison. It's tough enough you're losing on the football field, but to have your title stripped from you as well makes it worse.
And this ball batted in the air goes incomplete. And you're talking about balanced offenses. Last week, Hampton 206 yards rushing, 203 yards passing. Today, Hampton 205 yards passing, or rushing rather, and 186 yards passing. That's balance.
I mean, they're getting it done. And the thing about it, it's fun to watch. I talked about having good football, and they're playing good football because they're executing. The run plays are working. The pass plays are working. They've done everything except really explode in the special teams.
4th down and 2. Hampton going for it on 4th down. Shepard working from the shotgun. And we're going to get a flag. We may have motion. I believe the receiver, Jeremy Gilchrist, came toward the line a little bit too soon. And we talked about the coordinator, Chris.
Right to the snap. False start. Offense number 66. 5 yards from the previous spot. Remain 4th down.
It was Nevin McCaskill, the tackle, who moved prematurely. Yep, you see him flinch there a little bit. But we're talking about Chris Beatty in his first year as the offensive coordinator. He came to Hampton University. One of the people he brought with him was Jeremy Gilchrist, young man who transferred from Virginia Tech. He was a high school teammate of T.J. Mitchell, the backup quarterback. And, he was not happy down at Virginia Tech. And when Coach Beatty took the job here, he says, I'm going to go with you. They're going for it on 4th and 7. A little bit too high, intended for Andrea Jones. He had it in the midst, and he still may not have gotten the first down because he was still shy of the marker. So Hampton, for the first time since, I should say in a while, that they haven't scored when they got the ball. Normally they score when they get the ball. They drive all the way down after recovering the fumble. So you give Howard a little credit. They didn't give up any points, even though they turned the ball over.
Call it the bend but don't break defense.
From their own 32, 1st down and 10, Howard. Trailing 27-0.
That's a good move.
And the pass to Keon Coleman on the near sideline, and he's out of bounds in front of the Hampton University bench by Tavares Bain.
Coleman on the reception.
You see the move that?
Yeah, that was a great move
that he put by December on two Pirate defenders in his face. I like the fact that he stayed calm and cool under pressure. You see this guy's coming, give him a pump fake, and then outrun his other teammate and get outside, still look downfield and get the completion. And that's quarterback and keeping the presence about yourself.
He's a sophomore out of Norland High down in Miami. Was injured last year. He's rolling to the left, little shuttle pass forward, and it goes incomplete pass. Incomplete, 3:19 the time remaining. Don't forget, Sunday we'll have women's soccer doubleheader action. It'll start with Santa Clara and Texas A&M at 2:30 Eastern time, followed by UConn and UCLA at 5 Eastern. Women's soccer next Sunday on ESPNU. Tune in. Pass in the middle, and it's complete to Asanu. Asamu on the reception, and it's good for a first down.
And this is what you do against teams that like to blitz. Hampton wants to sell out in the middle and get Durant rushing up the middle. They just throw the ball right where they came from. Wherever they vacate in the defense, you send a wide receiver there for the completion.
Ulysses Alexander is in the ball game on the near side. Real tall receiver, and now we have a penalty flag to illegal participation. We had
illegal substitution on the offense. 12 man on the field. 5 yards from the previous spot. Remain first down.
And see, once the team breaks the huddle and gets set, everybody else has to be off the field. Yeah. And they were still running off as if the team was ready to snap the ball.
Yeah. And I think what happens is this is a team that likes to go to a no-huddle offense. And when you start to huddle, everybody thinks they're in the game, and they have problems with substitution patterns.
So it's 1st and 15 rather than 1st and 10. Now we have somebody else coming in, and they're running around out there. Perry goes up, and they're still.
Now, to me, this should be illegal substitution as well for a no-huddle offense. Because the defense doesn't have time to change personnel. That's almost cheating.
Well, if it works, doesn't matter, does it? You're talking against Howard?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, as they say. And the key is the fact that you've got all these people coming in and out. And the reason why they call it illegal substitution in the first place is so that the defense has an opportunity to match your personnel.
Right.
Even if you're going no huddle and you're bringing in 3 or 4 people at the last second, they don't have time to get somebody there to adjust. So they've got to make a rules adjustment for all these new no-huddle offenses saying you can't do that.
2nd and 13. Here's a flea flicker.
Didn't fool anybody.
And it was batted in the air, and it's intercepted by Durant.
Oh, what a block.
And then winding up with it, number 54 for the Pirates of Hampton University.
Jamari Jones.
And that's Jamari Jones. Looked like Durant had it for a minute. It bounced around, and somehow Jamari Jones wound up with it. 2nd turnover of the night for the Bison of Howard. A fumble and an interception. 2:10 remaining. 27-0 Hampton on top. 2:10 remaining 3rd quarter, and there you see Jamari Jones, who came up with the INT. 2nd turnover of the night for the Howard University Bison.
Team effort on defense here on this interception. Not fooled by the flea flicker. Once the quarterback gets the ball, you see the pressure still comes in the quarterback's face. The defensive back goes airborne, doesn't give up on the play, and Jamari Jones does a good job of fielding that ball that hung in the air for so long and blocks, just wiping out the quarterback, Marlon Fair. Great defense by the Pirates.
Howard University so far outscored 125-16 in the past 3 games here at Hampton on this Armstrong Field, including tonight. And for Hampton University, the 28th straight time or game that they have forced turnovers. They have forced 2 tonight. And that's getting the job done.
Yeah, anytime you can create turnovers, they got stats that prove the teams that win the turnover battles normally win the game, and that's why Hampton's only lost 4 football games over the past 2 years.
Here's the handoff to Coleman, trying to right side. And here's Coleman still on his feet and still down the sideline. And he had Timothy Lockett on the stop, but he had Jeffrey Pope grabbing for air. You know, Jeffrey Pope is quite a story. A lot of the pro scouts have been watching him. He's wearing number 2 for Howard University, and you'll see him coming up here to try to make the stop on Coleman as he comes around the left
watch
side.
the shake right here. Look at this. Get up on the outside. He got a circle on him. He was trying to fend off the block there, but Coleman's just special.
And you talk about number 2 and Pope. He wanted to wear number 2, which was the number worn a year ago by Antoine Bethea, who will be starting for the Indianapolis Colts tomorrow in the defensive secondary. And Coach, and I'll finish that story right after this play. Here is Shepard. Throwing and is complete on the near side to Andrea Jones. Touchdown.
That's the difference in a good offense. Simple
Joe
out
Claiborne missed the tackle.
But the key is when you make the easy completions, you put pressure on the defense to make the tackle. And if one guy misses the tackle, then you can hit him for a big play. That's a good job of composure by Shepard, just throwing the ball, then letting your athletes make plays. And Andre Jones did a great job with the shake there. I mean, this is how you teach it. You teach the wide receivers. You see the play action pass there and nobody there. They get the ball out there, but you teach the wide receiver, catch the ball, set your man up, then accelerate up the field and explode with a good stiff arm. And that's a good job by Andre Jones.
Patarini for his high snap.
Missed it.
And that is the first miss against Howard University in 13 tries in his career on an extra point. That was a 2-play, 45-yard drive. They only needed 25 seconds and used completed with a 29-yard touchdown.
Yeah, you know, and we have to keep reiterating the point. They're doing this against one of the best defenses in the MEAC conference year in and year out. But they're making it look easy right now.
But it's mistakes, little mistakes like the missed tackle by Claiborne there. I mean, those are the things that's hurting him. But I wanted to finish that story about Mr. Pope. You know, he wanted number 2, the number 1 by Antoine Bethea a year ago. He wore 24 a year ago. So he went to the coach at spring and said, listen, I'd like to wear number 2. Coach Petty says jokingly, if you run a 4.240, I'll let you have number 2. Well, the pro scouts came out. They were timing Antoine Bethea. He ran a 4.2 for them. He ran a 4.2 for his own coaches. And when they came back to time the underclassmen, he ran another 4.2. So he's running consistently 4.2. That's why he wound up with number 2.
Hey, you know, my thing is, if you run 4.2, you can wear whatever number you want to wear. Because you just don't come up with a 4.2. You don't see too many 4.2s in your lifetime. And, you know, we've been fortunate enough to see a 4.2 here at Hampton University with Jerome Mathis. And you take a look at Pope, well, that's Howard University's version of Jerome Mathis with the 4.2 speed.
Bobbled, picked up by Moore, trying to get to the outside, and Moore is back at about the 23-24-yard line. Reggie Knox there to make the stop after a 16-yard return. Howard University with the ball with 1:35 to go in the third quarter, but trailing by a score of 33-0.
There were a couple times in this game where Howard needed to respond when Hampton started to build momentum, but they just lacked the offensive firepower to make a difference, and that's why Hampton's been able to run away with this football game.
First down and 10. Keon Coleman getting some tough yards before Jamari Jones, number 54, made the stop for Hampton. We've called his name a lot tonight also.
You know, what coaches do when you have a new offensive scheme and it doesn't work, you go back to what you do know works, and Howard was able to have success running the football with the quarterback under center, and that's what they're doing now.
And they're having a little problems getting anything going, though, right now. Ray Lewis on the stop defensively. We see him in the lineup wearing number 5, and he's quite a story. Maybe get a chance to talk about the things that's happened in his life. Playing that linebacker spot. He backs up James Abrams on the left side.
I want to talk about a linebacker wearing number 5.
Well, you know, he wasn't always a linebacker.
What happened to the 50s? You know, when you change position,
he was a strong. He was a strong safety on this team back in '05, and he moved up. He was a quarterback in high school. Went to school out in Hawthorne, California, at Ranch High, and he actually blocked the field goal attempt against Grambling and tipped the extra point that was missed.
Offense number 59, 5 yards from the previous spot. Remain third down.
So he had a big hand in the win over Grambling a week ago, but he's kind of a fashion bug. Wears custom designed suits. I don't know if he designs them himself. He wants to be a minister. His dad, Earlis, sang with the group The Drifters back in the 60s. If you remember the record Under the Boardwalk, well, that was his dad. And of course, his dad left him and when he was 3 years old and moved to England. And his uncle kind of steered him towards sports as the quarterback is sacked by Baird, and that was December. He mentored a bunch of kids in Norfolk during the offseason, and, you know, he's a great story. And he wound up here at Hampton University. He started his college career at Eastern Washington, transferred to a junior college, Santa Monica College, and then came up to Hampton University, and quite an inspirational young man. And, of course, Hampton University has a football choir, and he's one of the leaders of that football choir. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. It's been all Alonzo Coleman, 145 yards so far tonight against Howard. 2 touchdowns, the best night in his career against the Bison. This is his senior year, and we'll be back for the fourth quarter in a moment. As we start the fourth quarter, it's been all Hampton, all Alonzo Coleman, 33-0. And log on to your new online source for all things college sports, ESPN.com. It's a brand new online service that will be a gateway to all college sports content from ESPN, combining the latest news with an expanded collection of new exclusive materials, scores, columns, video, and audio highlights, podcasts, live streaming games, and much more. Log on to ESPNU.com today. 6th punt of the night for Mr. Nuru, the freshman from Decatur, Georgia. Averaging just about 32 yards per punt, standing right at the goal line. And return will be by the ever-dangerous Marquay McDaniel. We expect him to break one tonight. He's been very, very close on a couple of occasions. He's standing inside the midfield stripe at about his own 40, at the Howard 46. Kick it away from Coleman, or I should say McDaniel, and the ball will take a Howard University bounce and go across midfield and stop at about the 41-yard line. Well, the average margin of victory for Hampton University the last 3 years against Howard, 15-3, 15.3 points per game. The largest margin, the recent largest margin of victory, and the largest was 51-2, and that was back in 2002.
Wow. But, you know, we should have known it was coming. If you go to the stadium and your bus catches on fire, I mean, that's a sign it's just not your day.
No.
You know, you maybe should have stayed on 95 instead of making that turn on the I-64. So, it's just,
or not gotten on the bus, period. Huh?
Yeah.
1st and 10, Howard, or Hampton, rather. The fullback in motion, that's Curtis Lewis. And fumbled by Alonzo Coleman, but he had the presence of mind to follow it and allow it to be a disaster, as Endor Cooper was there to make sure.
You know, one thing as a quarterback, what I always thought was anytime there was a quarterback-running back exchange, it was always my fault. You know, I never wanted to question my running back. It was always my fault because as a quarterback, if you stick it in that gut hard enough, he's got no choice but to hold on to it. I had a couple running backs accuse me of knocking the wind out of them a couple times, but at least they didn't fumble.
It is 2nd and 16 after the loss of 6 for Hampton. You would expect if the score holds up for maybe the next series, we'll see T.J. Mitchell in the lineup.
I think they're about one more score away from, I mean, that's how you know you're rolling on all cylinders. Right. Your wide receiver
falls down.
It falls down, Gilchrist.
And he still catches the ball.
But to Princeton Shepherd's credit, that's what you call throwing to a spot. Knowing the defense that's ahead of you, knowing you can flow the ball out there, but no defender's going to be in that area because you've made your read and your progression. When you get away with passes like that, that means you're passing the football. You have total control of the passing game. 5
different receivers tonight. Princeton Shepherd is thrown to. McDaniel, the leading receiver, with 6 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. Here again is Coleman, secondary, 1st down, still on his feet, and finally dropped at the 31-yard line.
I told you earlier in the game, what makes Alonzo Coleman so special, his ability to hit the hole.
Another 1st down, this one good for 17, and he keeps racking up the yards, 156 for the day.
I mean, the great running backs go from 1st gear to 4th gear in 2 steps, and Coleman's got that. And, you know, it's kind of tough to defend. How do you defend a guy that hits the hole so fast? You got to block the holes and make him change direction.
14 more yards, he'll have the record.
I told Montrell Coley, I hope you're watching.
This time Coleman goes
there
right.
Goes his record, maybe. Look at the dip move. I mean, isn't he fun to watch?
He is fun to watch.
You know, the key is, it doesn't matter what level. It could be Pop Warner, high school, junior high, college, pros. When a running back is making runs like this, ripping them off time after time again, it's a thing of beauty to watch. Even the boring runs, he gets there and watch him set him up. A little dip move here, set you up, cut outside, gain 4 more extra yards, and hit him with a bow.
When we came on the air, one of the things we talked about was the fact that Howard University has had very good success against this young man who's averaged about 104 yards a game throughout his career against everybody else except Howard. Tonight, he's been putting on a clinic.
Yeah, you know, and it shows that he and the offensive coordinator, Coach Beatty, are getting in unison. The question mark was, what are you going to do with a running back against the coordinator that likes to spread it out? Well, Coleman's starting to see you're not running so much up the middle. You're attacking the edges, but you're still a very productive back.
He's not in the lineup right now, and Shepard's back to pass.
Pattern.
There's McDaniel runs out of bounds before he can get into the end zone. But a good job by Princeton Shepard to get the ball into the hands of Markway McDaniel.
Schematically, Hampton's just picking them apart right now. And look at that. He's 4
yards away. Just 4 yards away from the all-time Hampton University. And he may be resting for the rest of the evening. I don't know. It'd be nice to see him break it on TV.
On TV, at home,
right,
against one of your rivals. That's the way you want to break a record. And you're winning.
Yeah.
We got to throw that in, and you're winning. So
right.
That's the way you break records.
Beverly in the lineup at the back. Behind the quarterback, Princeton Shepard. First and goal, Hampton University. And it's Beverly with the ball. And Beverly will be short of the goal line. That was a first and goal at the 3 as Tim Lockett made the stop defensively for the Bison.
Well, one thing I can assure you about Joe Taylor, though, he's a class act. You know, putting Coleman in there for the sake of breaking a record, he'll do it if it goes within the flow of the game,
and
but not to
back in.
Upstage
right.
the opponent.
Well, he's not going to ever run the score up on you, like some other people we know. But anyway.
You said it. You said it, Charlie Mills.
Facts are facts. Like you said, it is what it is, right? Alonzo Coleman for his 3rd touchdown of the night has the ball, goes right, and it's in the end zone. 2-yard run. He's still 2 yards shy, but he has 3 touchdowns.
I think he's making up for last week. You know, last week he was, you know, kind of limited a little bit, and he didn't play the whole game. Well, he's making up for it now. And you see Coleman here get the ball, have the vision to know where the hole is, where to cut inside, get to the end zone easily. Alonzo Coleman is easily on his way to double-digit touchdowns for the 2006 season.
59-yard drive. Patarini, who missed the last PAT. That was a high snap to his credit. It wasn't totally his fault. The holder couldn't get it down. Good snap, good hold this time, and this one is good. 40-0, our score. Alonzo Coleman, a 3-touchdown night. Doesn't get much better than that. .12:06 the time remaining, 40-0 our score as Alonzo Coleman has just had a banner night tonight. 168 yards, 3 touchdowns to his credit, 23 rushes. He just needs 2 yards to tie Montrell Coley as the all-time leading rusher at Hampton, and 3 yards to break it.
Just another day at the office for Alonzo Coleman, the star running back for the #1 team in black college football. Hampton's off to a great start, going undefeated. And Alabama A&M, Grambling, they play each other. So one of those teams is going to do some moving. They're playing this weekend, so it's interesting. But Hampton by far has been the class of the MEAC conference, and they represented the conference well last week in the MEAC SWAC challenge, and it's going to be interesting to see how far this team can go. I thought it was an interesting note. The cover of their media guide said season for the challenge.
Season for the challenge. That's right. This one comes down to Perry. Perry breaks out of the pack, still on his feet and out to about the 30-yard line. 21-yard return for Perry. And let's look at Hampton's schedule going forward. They take on the Aggies of North Carolina A&T, Morgan State. Then they travel to Delaware State. They take on Central State of Ohio. That'll be in Indianapolis at the Circle City Classic. Norfolk State will play them here. They'll play South Carolina State in Orangeburg.
That's the key.
Yeah, and then Winston-Salem here. And then a Thursday night game here against the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman. We'll be back for that one, Jay. This pass, woo, what a hit. What a hit.
Marlon Fair.
Oh, by Fair.
That's not fair. That's not fair to hit somebody like that when they don't know it's coming.
Boy, that was Charlie Richards on the reception.
I mean, look at this. You talk about a collision out there. Wow, look at this. Bow. Ooh, I mean, he ran through him.
Going to the right side this time and picking up good yards and a first down before being stopped by Tavares Bain as the quarterback, December.
And he's looked the best of the three. You know, that was one of the questions, who was going to be the quarterback to step up. And December showed me some things. He's got some poise and a calmness about him to always be in control and that knack for making big plays. I think they need to take a look at giving him the starting job.
13 yards for December, and we got some movement, looked like, but no flags thrown. And not much going on right now. Under 11 minutes to go for the Howard University Bison. They were 4-7 a year ago, 1-7 in conference play. Hampton's lone loss came against the University of Richmond in the first round of the 1AA playoffs. They went 8-0 in the conference, 11-1 overall.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's a dream season. I know from when we went to Howard, we went 11-0, but that playoff loss is still the memory that just hurts me, and I wish I could take it back.
That was against Marshall?
And that that was against Marshall, and, you know, that was the motivation, I think, for Hampton. Because after that loss, they're motivated, and they want to get back to the playoffs to take care of some unfinished business.
Yeah, and they lost to William and Mary year before last. Both area schools and in-state rivals. Not in the same conference, but still.
You know, one of the things I want to point out, for the past 2 years, that game with South Carolina State has determined the winner of the MEAC Conference, and it's no different. Now, I will say this, and, you know, Hampton's scheduled to repeat as MEAC champion, but South Carolina State has lost 2 games for the past 2 seasons.
And both of them have been to Hampton.
It's been to Hampton in conference play, so they're doing some good things down there, and that's going to be a shootout down there in Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Certainly is.
And I can't wait to get to that game, but that's going to be awesome.
Are you doing that game?
I don't know. If I go, I'm going to take you with me. How about that? If not, I'm going to petition to go do that game. Go down there and see Coach Buddy Pugh, our buddy there, everybody's buddy. And,
oh, yeah.
You know, that's a shootout, and I think the key with the MEAC Conference as a whole is trying to start doing is getting 2 teams into the playoffs.
And certainly they've done that in a couple of.
Defense, number 94, 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay third down.
The last team to beat Hampton in the MEAC with MEAC school was Delaware State, right here. That was right here.
I thought it was at Delaware State.
Was it Delaware State?
They say it was one of them setup jobs where they wet the field down to slow down Jerome Mathis. Sprinklers came on in the first quarter, then back on again in the third quarter.
It was the timer's fault.
Yeah.
And here's December running for his life to the near side. And he is bounced out of bounds in front of the Hampton bench. And one man that hit him was number 54.
Jamari Jones.
That was Jamari Jones, along with Marcus Dixon on the defensive side of the football. And the MEAC champs, the last 5. Hampton has won 2 straight. North Carolina A&T won it in George Small's first year. They had a very good year as his first year as head coach there, but he only lasted 2 more years after that. He was 3-8 his last 2 years, and they have a new coach down there at the Aggie land, Lee Fobbs, and his first head coaching job. He was a Division I assistant for 17 years at schools like Alabama, Baylor, LSU, and Minnesota, but you wouldn't know it from the way Winston took care of him a week ago, right?
Things are not going too well down in Aggie land.
Worst punt of the night.
They're going worse in Washington, D.C. Bison territory right now.
9:25, the time remaining. 40-0, our score. Here in the fourth quarter on the campus of Hampton University at Armstrong Stadium, it's been all Hampton over the Howard University Bison. Charlie Neal along with Jay Walker here. And the Hampton Pirates in their dark blue jerseys, Howard in the white. As 9 minutes and 25 seconds of time remaining, and a new quarterback in the lineup as we speculated for the Hampton Pirates, the man who led them to victory after Princeton Shepherd went down against Grambling a week ago. This is T.J. Mitchell. But Coleman is still in there trying to get that record, and he goes forward for a couple of yards. He needs 3 to become the all-time leader. I think he just tied the record with that run.
You know, in all the elements, and you kind of hope he falls a little bit short. Because, you know, a great runner like him who averages close to 4.5, 5 yards per carry, you want him to get it on one of those classic Alonzo Coleman runs. You know, long run, break outside, make somebody miss, and bust it hard up the middle with a cutback.
Maybe he'll go 53 on this one.
I think he'll settle for 7 right now.
It is 2nd down. Now we got a flag. We may have a little movement. Hampton is averaging almost 8.
Full start, 84 offense, 5 yards from the previous spot, still 2nd down.
Weston Hill, a backup tight end, averaging almost 8 yards of play tonight in this game.
You know, that's hats off to the new offensive coordinator. You know, one of the things why they made a change, they thought they had become predictable and weren't the typical explosive offense that they had been in previous years. And with the spread offense, teams haven't caught on yet, and they're exploding.
And Coach Taylor said this week at his press conference he thinks hiring a Beatty was the best decision he's made in 37 years.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot. You know, a coach like Coach Taylor, he's seen everybody, and he's seen many come through. And, you know, it really makes sense when you think about it. I thought Coach Kyson was a great offensive coordinator, and he's moved on to Tennessee State. But when you've got a high school program in your own backyard having that type of success, you almost need to recruit a coach from that program so you can keep the local talent home.
And you look at Coach Beatty, he looks like he's about 20 years old. He's 32, and he still had very good success at such a young age. And of course, his dream is to become a head coach in the collegiate level at some point in time. And if he continues to have success, it will happen as Faulkner gets the catch on the far sideline, gets the 1st down, makes a move, still on his feet and down inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line.
Man, that's a good job of running after the catch by Derek Faulkner there. When you got a wide receiver with this type of size, 6'4", 225 pounds, and Mitchell comes in here and completes his first pass attempt of the game. But look at Faulkner play big. You play big. You make the catch. You make one guy miss. You throw defenders off of you. That's what they want Derek Faulkner to do. Play big and show athleticism like that.
At the 39 of Howard University, T.J. Mitchell completes his first pass of the night. Good for 15 yards. He's going up top again on the far side, and it's caught. And they look like the defenders were just standing around watching as Gilchrist comes up. Now, those two were high school teammates, so they're used to throwing to each other. At Lansdowne High here in the Tidewater area, Virginia Beach to be exact. In fact, you know, we're talking about Chris Beatty. He also coached Markway McDaniel at high school when he was at Salem High.
Yeah, and, you know, he's coaching. You know, and if you're a wide receiver, you like to play for a coach like that likes to throw the ball and has that high-octane offense.
Has Beverly on the run for Hampton University, and they're eating up the clock, keeping the ball on the ground. There's a flag on the ground, and we may have a penalty against.
Who's got that ball as a pile up down there? See, I like what they tell everybody. Just pull something. When there's a fumble and the ball's on the ground, pull something. Arm, helmet, face mask, just keep pulling.
Hampton has the ball. They'll retain possession. Let's see what the flag is all about. No? There was no flag. I thought it was a penalty marker.
We'll take a look at the last play here as Beverly got the ball and cut and had that ball a little too loose running in traffic. You can't swing that ball from side to side, and the ball came loose. Luckily for Hampton, they recovered.
2nd down and 2. Ball at the 16. Here's Beverly. Beverly at the 10-yard line. 1st and 10. Make it 1st and goal as Timothy Lockett made the stop for Howard University. 1st and goal for the Pirates of Hampton University. And you talk about the football championships over the years. Of course, this conference started, as you look at Beverly back in 1971. The most championships have been won by South Carolina State. They have 11, followed by Florida A&M with 7, A&T with 6, Delaware State and Hampton with 4 each. And there's Beverly again trying to get something going. And, of course, but the man this evening, Alonzo Coleman, stretching out, relaxing, getting some advice from the trainer.
Yeah, it looks like a trainer that's on him, so you hate to think he got injured going for that record there. You know, it's been a fantastic evening for him, and he became the school's all-time career rushing leader. You just hope it wasn't at a cost.
Right. Well, I think maybe just stretch it out a little
But
bit.
the coaches have told me before the game, you know, he's just now getting healthy. Last week in the game, he was only 70%. This week, they said he was closer to 80%. And they said he's got an injury that's going to continue to improve. It just takes time.
Faulkner battling in the end zone for the ball defensively for Howard University was Claiborne, Thomas Claiborne, number 22.
And that's the difference between an experienced quarterback like Princeton Shepard and an inexperienced quarterback like T.J. Mitchell. When you get a fade route and you got a 6'4" wide receiver like Derek Faulkner, you can't throw the ball out of bounds. Keep it in place so he can jump up and get it. You throw that ball 8 yards out of bounds, he's got no chance.
3rd and goal at the 9-yard line. The fade again to the end zone.
He kept it in bounds. He had a chance. That should have been a flag. That was pass interference.
Claiborne defending again on Faulkner, and it'll bring up 4th and goal at the 9, and Patarini will come on. It'll be about a 23-yard field goal attempt.
You see that? I mean, I think that was pass interference. Faulkner went up to get the ball, and Claiborne ran through him, but up 40-0. Good no call.
26-yard field goal attempt by Patarini. He's already kicked 2 tonight. 34 and 29 yards. This one from 26 yards out, and it is good. So Patarini has hit the trifecta tonight, as has Alonzo Coleman. And it's 43-0 Hampton. ESPNU College Football brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Remember, every season starts at Dick's. Charlie Neal and Jay Walker here with 5:43 to go, and I've got the Band-Aids out for Jay.
Yeah, I'm not here.
You believe?
I'm not here.
43-0 our score. Full moon in Hampton, Virginia.
It's the bad thing about it. If I'm not here, Howard's not here.
They definitely aren't here. Patarini with the kick. It'll be Moore from the 1. Moore bringing it up the right side, and Moore brought down right at about the 22-yard line by Reggie Knox. He's done a pretty good job on the special teams tonight. But, you know, talking about the success of Hampton University, their offense was clicking on all cylinders tonight. They made very few mistakes, no turnovers in the ball game, but their defense, led by Justin Durant, has been just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been Alonzo Coleman tonight, but Justin Durant is All-American candidate as well. He's an NFL prospect.
And player of the year in the MEAC.
Defensive player of the year in the MEAC, and you see why. I mean, anytime you're the captain of a defense that's pitching a shutout, that shows you got it done. So he had a good day of work, and that's what it's all about. On big games, on national stages, the stars come out to shine, and both stars for Hampton came out and played fantastic games. And Durant, I just get more and more impressed by him as the days go on.
December's pass intended for Rodney Slappy. Nobody home in that particular pattern.
I mean, look at that. He looks like a linebacker, doesn't he? You know, he looks like one. 52, got the big shoulder pads, got the gun showing, and he can run. I mean, make no doubt about it. He's filled into his body. He's now 6'2", 230 pounds, but he still runs that 4.4, 4.5.
No, certainly does. 2nd down, 10 after the incompletion, and we may have a penalty of offsides. Don't forget Thursday night, a couple of in-state rivals go at it. Jay and I will be down in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, as the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles take on the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State University. It's college football prime time, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, Thursday night at 7 Eastern, right here on ESPNU. And for more information, log on to ESPNU.com. Middle Tennessee State was playing from the University of Maryland today.
Don't know what happened there, but here's a little trivia for you. What NFL quarterback went to Middle Tennessee State?
You don't know?
I know, but if I got to tell you, I'm going to tell you next week. I'm going to make you hold on for 5 days.
Okay, I'll hold on.
Kelly Holcomb.
All right.
Kelly Holcomb started, currently playing for the Buffalo Bills, so hopefully they throw the ball around.
5 minutes to go. Option play to the right, left side rather. for the quarterback, December. Nothing going on for him as Sapp made the stop defensively.
Although that was a minimal gain, that's what the coach wants you to do, attack the edges. But since I'm buzzing you a little bit and you're Mr. Black College History, and I know you let it rub this in my face, when was the last time that Hampton shut out Howard?
I'll tell you after this play.
You're good. You come up with it.
And we got a little movement there. Ball still on the ground. So when was the last time
Hampton
shut out Howard?
Shut out Howard.
There it is. 1961,
and
37-0.
Too. Somebody said you were calling play-by-play for that game.
I was. I did the first game in 1998.
Offside, defense, number 90. 5 yards from the previous spot. It's enough for a first down.
Yeah, when the series started, I was there.
Said Red Grange was the best football player I ever saw.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the postseason woes of the Hampton Pirates. If there's a negative you could talk about tonight, you know, they played Youngstown State when Jim Trussell was coaching down there in 97. They played UConn in 98, William and Mary in 04, Richmond last year. 0-4 in those playoff games. Here's a long pass down the field. This one intended for Landis Hood, and it's way overthrown, including the defender. Hampton University has had a lot of success, though, since Joe Taylor's come on board. Has only had one losing season. Last 3 years, they've had 24 first-team all-conference players, 5 first-team All-Americans, 2 Black College national titles, and a partridge in a pear tree. I mean, they've had everything going for them. Howard, again, keeping the ball on the ground with the hard running of Birchie, the man who fumbled earlier in the contest.
This is good hard running by Frank Birch. You know, you got a guy, he made a mistake earlier with the fumble. Next time around, did he learn from his mistake? He got in traffic, explode hard to the outside. Then when defenders started to come close to him, what does he do with the ball? He put that left hand in a position to put it away. But he's going to have to work on that.
Well, the thing is, he's carrying the ball in the wrong hand.
He's carrying the wrong hand, and he
should have been in the left hand. He was going around the left side.
The good ones know how to just kind of cover up on contact, and that's just something he's got to work on.
Keon Coleman on a little shuffle pass forward, and he gets down to the 44-yard line of the Pirates of Hampton University. Clock continuing the run, though. The ball is actually spotted at the 45, where it'll be 2nd down and 4. December faked everybody, gets to the outside, has the first down, brought down from behind. And on the stop, number 58, Charles Robinson.
And that's that presence I'm talking about. A guy comes unblocked in your face, but he still has the athleticism and the wherewithal just to make a move and get some positive yardage on what could have been a very negative situation. He turned it into a positive.
Howard tonight, 192 yards rushing. 292 yards passing. 205 yards rushing, 92 yards passing.
I mean,
and with a wide open offense, you got to have more than 92 yards passing.
Wide open offense, and that's the school of Ted Flight White. You know, that great Howard quarterback. I know he can't be too pleased to see your team on national TV passing for less than 100 yards.
And again, we talk about the balance of Hampton University as the ball is thrown up top.
Oh, what a catch.
Touchdown! Touchdown, Howard University. They avoid the shutout, Asamu with the reception. What a catch by Asamu, 33 yards from the quarterback, December.
And it all started because December had the wherewithal not to evacuate the pocket, to stay in the pocket, keep his eyes and attention focused downfield. Take a look at this hard pass rush coming from Hampton. But December steps up in the pocket between the Pirate defenders, puts some air underneath the ball so Asume can adjust to it. It's a great catch, great concentration. Touchdown, Howard University.
First career touchdown for either player in the college ranks. So what a way to avoid the shutout. And here for the point after. And also was a walk-on for Howard University. Weiberg, and it's good. And that is his first career PAT. So we got a lot of firsts on that one. A first extra point, a first touchdown reception, and a first touchdown pass.
You know, one of the things that Hampton doesn't like to do is blitz and play zero coverage. Well, they go with zero coverage, straight man-to-man across the board. The free safety's out the middle of the field, and Howard makes him pay with a great catch with one hand, holding that ball to his shoulder. Look at the concentration. Looks like Willie Mays there, like he's got a glove on, caught that ball with one hand. That's an outstanding catch.
Well, the shutout is avoided.
You hate that too, don't you,
No,
Charlie? You thought you were going to talk about me bad, saying your boys got shut out when you were there.
Hey, I like you said, I want to see good football and good plays.
So good job, but I really am impressed with everything that's happened with, you know, Martin December. I told you early in the game, he showed me flashes of having something special about him and something you can grow on. And he's just a sophomore, so he's got years that he can mature.
That was a 3-minute drive by the Bison. The drive started way back at their own 23-yard line. Went 77 yards in 9 plays, used up 3 minutes off the clock, and got on the board with 2:32 to go. So now John Mendoza to kick it off, left-footed kicker. Fielded right at the goal line.
Oh, wow.
Watch out. Turn out the lights. This party may be over.
He's not going to run Pope now.
Pope. That's the 4-2 man we talked about earlier. That's the only reason that was not a touchdown return by Kevin Teal. But Mr. Pope is the 4-2 man we talked about earlier. That's why he's wearing number 2, because he bet the coach if he ran a 4-2 40, he could wear number 2.
Yep, and he showed his 4-2 on this play right here. But a great job by Teal getting there and splitting between and hitting the gap. And he's got the lead on Pope, but Pope tracked him down, and looks like Pope was almost jogging and just walked him down. And wow, he can step.
74 yards on the return by Mr. Teal for Hampton University. He returned 3 kicks against Grambling last week for an average of 23.7. His long was 27 yards, a product of Bowie Merlin, sophomore. And right now, though, Hampton with the ball at the 25 of Howard University. And here again is Beverly on the carry.
Wow, we talk about running backs trying to get hit all the time like they do. Well, in this case, running back here delivered the blow. Kevin Beverly, watch him just run through Ricky Jackson, the free safety. Bow. Run through him, keep going. Get a ticket and ride the bus, son. You just got taken for a ride.
First down and 10. Again, Beverly stumbles down inside the 10 to about the 5 before Endor Cooper tripped him up.
If I didn't know any better, I would think that play was designed to go outside, but Beverly wanted to run over Ricky Jackson again and cut hard the inside, looking for him to hit.
This Hampton University team, you're talking about players, 4 NFL players from this squad. Jerome Mathis with Houston, 3 rather. Brian Barnes, Darian Barnes, a fullback with Miami, and there's a running play again, along with Jamal Brooks with the St. Louis Rams. Of course, Howard University has 4 players in the NFL. Antoine Bethea, who will start tomorrow when the Peyton Manning and his brother go against each other, the Giants against the Indianapolis Colts, and Antoine will start in the secondary for the Colts. Ron Bartell with the St. Louis Rams, linebacker Tracy White with Green Bay, and defensive end Marcus Douglas of San Francisco.
What's the common denominator there? Defense, defense,
Yeah,
defense,
certainly
defense.
is. Going to the right side this time and stop short. And to bring up 4th down. That was a 3rd and 5 play.
And to follow up on that Bethea, I think the whole conference is proud to see Antoine Bethea get an opportunity to start that game in a World All-Black college, because you got Robert Mathis starting for the Colts too from Alabama A&M.
And they're gonna let the clock run out. Patarini is on to attempt the point after, or the field goal rather. Will he get it off in time? Yes, he will. This kick is up when the clock goes to 0, and it's good. So Patarini 4 for 4 in field goals tonight. But the night belonged to Alonzo Coleman. what a stage in which to show what he could do. He is our direct TV player of the game. Coleman with 172 yards, 3 touchdowns, but more importantly, he becomes the school's all-time leading rusher. Congratulations.
When you have a night like that on national TV, that's what it's all about. And he's worked hard for it. This wasn't a one-hit wonder. And for Coach Petty and the Bison, you got to wonder, what do we have to do to jumpstart this offense?
Well, final score of this football game, 46-7, 4 field goals. Up next, Sports Center U. For more information, log on to your new home for the finest in college sports, ESPNU.com. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Jay Walker and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Charlie Neal saying so long from Armstrong Stadium in Hampton, Virginia, as the Pirates continue their domination over the Howard University Bison. They win it for the 10th straight time. The final score, 46-7, on a night in which Alonzo Coleman showed the world why he's the preseason player of the year. Good night, everyone.
And BC wins and scene.